So hello and welcome to the Wiki Weekdays podcast. I'm your host of this episode, Karl Smallwood, joined as ever by my good friend, Lucas Holland.
Hello there.
I'll let you in Zoom camera format as we joke at the halfway point, because if you're watching the video version, camera shuts off halfway through.
Yeah, my good camera was used for the earlier part of the podcast, and I'm just in webcam format now.
Yeah, like I said, it's just when you logged in, it's just like I did get the jump scare of like, oh god, no, I'm interviewing someone during the pandemic again. Oh god, no, you got that Zoom, like the stare direct to camera sent me.
The just like I'm here, I'm with you.
The HR stare.
Low res.
Yeah. For anyone unfamiliar with the format of Wiki Weekends and Wiki Weekdays, the podcast you're listening to right now is where myself and Lucas will scour the lengths and breadths of the internet for a wiki on a subject we're interested in and bring it forward for discussion. And we talked about 2 video games today. I brought forward a wiki on Shadow of Mordor, and you brought forward one what, Lucas?
I brought forward one on Shovel Knight, which at some point changed your decision of what you were going to talk about.
Yeah, which you can hear happen in real time. I folded so fast, just like Lucas did in our Baldur's Gate 3 run, where he folded instantly the moment I told him that like Minthara is romanceable. I've never seen anyone make a quicker decision in a video game.
Instantaneous. I knew what I wanted.
Instantaneous. The second you found out you could romance Minthara, like the growth was done. But you can hear all that and more by listening. But before that, just a few things to point out. We do have our various names above us on screen. They're our Patreon producers, our PPs. And we didn't pick a pet of the week, did we?
So I was just going over to Pet of the Week. So if you want to just do the rest of housekeeping for a second.
Yes. So Pet of the Week is a fun thing we do with our audience over on our Discord. You can join our Patreon at any tier. You can join our Discord for free, but join our Patreon at any tier to get the ability to post photos. You can post a picture of any animal you see, the blurrier the better. And you can post it in there, and we pick it one random animal per week to act as our podcast mascot.
It is mostly an excuse to just get people to post pictures of pets or animals.
It is indeed, yes. It's like, you know what? I'd rather have a pet picture served than a meme one. We do have a meme one, but the pet picture one's where I spend half my time. Yeah. But you can join that at any tier. You can also, as mentioned, support us in many other ways. You can like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. You can also tune into this channel at some point over the next couple of weeks. We're hoping to set up live streams. That'll be a good way to support us that way. But as mentioned, you can see the names of our various Patreon producers on screen.
And I have sent you the pet of the week, Karl. This is a picture of Cole. Somebody is got just a neighbourhood cat that they've gotten quite close with, and apparently just throws herself in the way of them when they try to leave their home and screams at them until they get pets. I respect that energy. Yeah.
I like the idea of just this cat belongs to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
It's like where I used to live, there was a cat outside called Garfield. And he was there so much he was a fucking Pokestop.
Mm-hmm. Literally, I can attest to that. Yeah.
He was a Pokestop, he was just there all the time. And the owner had to put like a note saying, "This is my cat, it's Garfield. He just likes sitting here for some reason. You don't have to feed him. Please stop feeding him." And people would, I remember once I was walked past and someone put hot cross buns next to the cat. I was like, who gives a cat hot cross buns?
The thing is, as well, I know exactly why that cat likes to sit there. It's because people walk past and feed it, yeah.
Just for some reason, he just sat on this little grassy knoll and just observed, like a little king, like a little orange king.
And got fed like a king as well.
Yeah, it's like I said, with neighbourhood cats. There's always that legendary video of the person's like, well, I'll put a GoPro on my cat, see where he goes. Because I'm curious. And he's like, oh, he spent half its time in the sewer. He's just second one leaves the house straight into the sewer. It's like, why is my cat in the sewer?
There's the ones as
why did it do this?
Where it's like, I put my a GoPro on my dog. It's like it just spent half of its evening just like sniffing dogs' asses. It's like, great, what good footage.
I think one of the best YouTube videos ever is that Japanese like news crew who's got contacts about this old lady is like, I don't know why my dog's fat. And the news crew was like a human interest. So I was like, you know what? Let's just follow this dog around all day. And they follow the dog around all day, and it's everyone was feeding it.
Every single little stop in the village that it knew just had a little feeding spot.
I think it's called Katchan. You can find it. It's like 10 minutes. It's adorable. But it's like this one's like, I don't know why my dog's so fat. And it turns out every single person in her village knows the dog and feeds it every day. And it just has like this loop that it does to get fed like 15 times. But the dog gets caught and it knows. But it's not sorry.
It's not sorry. Oh.
It's like that picture of that like possum that got into a bakery. Do you remember that one?
I don't remember the possum in a bakery.
It's one of the most relatable photos.
I remember there was like one. Was it? Maybe I'm thinking of the possum. I was thinking it was a dog that got into like a bunch of jars of jam or something, and it looked like the dog was like just in a bloodbath.
Yeah, I've seen that one. Like, this is the possum that got into a bakery, and like, Lucas, look, it's like, I don't care. Like, imagine you come in and see that. Like, look at it.
It looks comatose.
Like, everyone always like captions it of like, kill me if you must, but I've already won. Because it doesn't give a fuck, right?
Oh, it doesn't. And
it's stolen like every bakery.
There's the one where it's like, I can't remember whether it was like a sushi place or something, but a place that had fish. Where it's like these penguins kept just rocking back up and just like breaking in overnight. It's like we keep just having to kick these penguins out.
The best one is all that footage of like the seagulls who figured out how to steal crisps. You've seen those? Like the footage of like when they walk into shops and steal the crisps. And one shop in like Brighton said we had to move the meal deal to the back of a shop because seagulls kept coming and nicking crisps.
And there's like a shop somewhere that put up a sign at seagull eye level, like no seagulls allowed, as if they were gonna like read the sign and go, oh shit.
And was that like Australia? In Australia again, their seagulls are so aggressive. They have to have like their chips. They have like reflective containers that stop seagulls attacking them. And like, you might be thinking, how aggressive do they get? It's like anyone who's not having them out of those packets get immediately swarmed.
Have you seen the thing of like there's a fish and chip shop somewhere in the UK that put googly eyes on the boxes, and the seagulls for some reason leave them alone? And
it's just like, they think it's watching them.
They just, the moment they see eyes on the box, it's like a deterrent. And some reason that works.
It's like they think it's a predator. Or like they think it's an animal that's aware of them. Like, so I think one of the best videos of a seagull is, here's a seagull, like they just someone put a biscuit outside their house. And it's like, here's a crow getting in, it's like a ninja. The seagull just crashes into the window and fucking just explodes. Well, that's that person who asked like an ornithologist of like, well, seagulls can live to 30 years old. Do they remember the 90s? And it's like, they don't remember that much.
They remember the chips from the 90s. They don't remember the 90s.
They do. But yeah, there's something about the neighbourhood cat that's just like, it's so fed.
It's so well fed.
It's never been more fed.
But yeah,
but cheers to everyone for watching, and hopefully you enjoy the rest of the podcast. Over to ourselves.
No, I was
any more housekeeping I've missed.
Yeah.
Oh yes, you got something to promote, haven't you? Yes, of course.
I've got something to promote, person to promote. That is the person that did my cool new tattoo. That is Sam, and if you're a fan of like cute Pokemon tattoos, go follow him on Instagram. The link will be down below. I'll obviously just put like a little gif of my tattoo. I got a charger bug, very cutesy, very colourful, a shiny.
I can't believe you've committed that much to the bug. He's done it.
Yeah, I know.
He's gone full in. He's gone full in on the bug.
A like 10-year-old random in joke of me continuing to use charge bug at any possible chance. I've taken it to the extreme.
So the thing is, if I ever manage to get like a Pokemon tattoo, like my favourite Pokemon's not one that's very popular, so.
Well, Shedinja, right?
It'd be Shedinja, right? I'd have to get like a Shedinja on my ball sack or something. There he is.
Of course. But no, yeah, they
so I'd have to get his celebration. Like, if you ever got the snip, you've got to get the Shedinja empty husk. Useless. Nothing in there anymore.
Oh dear God!
I feel bad now because you're promoting this person's work, and it's stuck in the middle of me making a joke about my balls.
Yeah,
I apologise. Your work is exceptional.
No, yeah, very very lovely tattooist based in Liverpool, and yeah, I was just looking for like a person to do like cutesy Pokemon tattoos for me, and yeah, found the right pick, and just also, managed to get them to. Why charger bug? It's like there's a lot going on.
It's like movies and video games. Like every video game is someone's favourite video game. Every movie is someone's favourite movie. I remember it's an interview with Don LaFontaine. He did like the voiceover for all those movies. He was like, what did you do when you had to do a shit movie? Mm-hmm. I was like, well, I'm talking. Everyone movies, it's someone's favourite movie. I'm talking to that person. Mm-hmm. Same like Fabio when he got asked, like, you're posing for these crappy romance novels. what goes through your mind when you're doing that? Is it just another job? It's like, no, I think to the woman who buys it, I think I'm looking directly at her, and that's who I'm thinking of when I'm taking the photo. You've got to respect that level of professionalism.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know how to segue this, but speaking of, being colourful and it being Pride Month, Karl.
Yes.
I also have to just show that I've got nice rainbow hair that I'll put up.
You've done this, yes. You've gone for normally you have the bright coloured hair, but it's difficult sometimes. You got the full rainbow this time.
The full rainbow going all the way back, but I'll post a proper picture of it on the Discord. But
so you can go check out that if you want to see more pets, a charger bug, and Lucas's hair.
But I'm a bit late to the party, but happy Pride, everyone. And we've
just been busy, haven't we?
It's just a bit of a ball ache, so I just kept procrastinating. But hey, Liverpool has
we appreciate everyone tuning
Pride in July for some reason, so hopefully I'll have rainbow hair for Pride in Liverpool. It's always a month late.
We appreciate everyone tuning in, and hopefully you enjoy the podcast. So cheers.
Hell yeah.
So thank you to future Karl and Lucas for that, what I presume was very... So thank you to future Karl and Lucas for that, what I assume, amazing intro. What have you brought forward for us to talk about today, Monfrere?
So I thought I would talk about the video game Shovel Knight.
Okay, let's go.
A very timely pick, I would say.
It's timely because Shovel Knight never really went away. Shovel Knight has kind of always been there as just a rep for indie gaming.
Yes, I would argue probably one of the best reps for indie gaming.
Yeah, just to the point where they made it to Smash Bros.
Yeah, they made it into
gaming rep.
Smash Bros. As it was a me outfit, right? Wasn't it, or was it an assist trophy or something? An assist trophy, that was it.
Yeah, an assist trophy. People don't know Smash Bros. Is a celebration of all things gaming. So the idea of putting Shovel Knight in there alongside the likes of fucking Mario is crazy.
Mario,
and just shows how far the character came.
Yeah, the fact that there's a few different indie games that manage to get represented either with me costumes or with assist trophies, but I believe Shovel Knight was the only indie game rep that got an assist trophy rather than a me costume.
Yeah, as well. I like as well just the concept is so simple. It's just a knight who beats things to death with a shovel.
Yeah,
there's a simplicity to his design.
There is a great simplicity to the design, and there's a lot of referential kind of stuff within there. I believe one of the reasons they ended up with a shovel is because they wanted to mimic the design of DuckTales, where you have the pogo stick bounce.
Yeah, that's a fun aspect of the game. So I've only played it very briefly, and it was many, many years ago at this point. But put us all on the same page. What's Wiki got? What's the Wiki you've got in front of you got to say about Shovel Knight?
I do have the Wikipedia page for Shovel Knight here. And Shovel Knight is a platform game developed and published by Yacht Club Games. Development was crowdfunded, and the game was released for Nintendo 3DS, Wii U, and Windows in June 2014.
Is that fucking old?
2014.
The 3DS?
The 3DS and Wii U. And then in September 2014, it was ported to OS X and Linux. PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, PlayStation Vita, and Xbox One were then in April 2015. And then in 2017, it got a Switch release. Oh no, September 2015, it also got an Amazon Fire TV release, Karl.
You can play this shit on your Amazon Fire Stick. It's that's the joke they make about Skyrim, isn't it? Of you can play Skyrim on everything.
They did Bethesda that thing where you can play it on Alexa or something.
Yeah. It's Bethesda will port Skyrim to an Alexa before they will release the Elder Scrolls 6.
Or give us Fallout 5 announcement or something. Look, I appreciate that Todd Howard wants to work on all these games, but I don't want to wait 15 years at a time for a Fallout game. Just come on.
Do you know what?
Let somebody else touch it.
I do appreciate that. With the Elder Scrolls, I think it's 10 years since it was announced now. Some ridiculous. It's been announced. There's a trailer and that's it. The fact is we're working on it and we'll show you more when we're done, and they're not done yet. Similar to Grand Theft Auto, right? Where I think just the other day they went, okay, we finally announced you can start pre-ordering it in June.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest news stories of the past couple of weeks, gaming related wise, was just oh, we've got a box art for Grand Theft Auto, and people are like, oh, the helicopter's in again. It's like, okay.
So of course it's going to be a helicopter. That game's going to have everything. The previous game had flip-flops that realistically flip-flopped. Of course it's going to be a fucking helicopter.
Not that the helicopter's in the game, it's more like in the box art, apparently, apart from like Chinatown Wars, there's always a helicopter in the top left or something.
Is that similar to like the Football Manager man?
Right.
Do you remember like Football Manager always used to have like a headless man in a suit, and that was you, the player, you are Football Manager man. Then they started putting like a football on the cover instead of Football Manager man. I was like, no, but we want Football Manager man back. And then that's very similar. No, it's not similar. But he has the same energy as Shovel Knight. Mm-hmm. It has the same energy as that of it's a character that people anthropomorphize like a personality onto, because from my recollection, Shovel Knight doesn't really have that much of a personality, but
not too much. It's more just like, I am the hero of the story. I will get the damsel in distress back. I will.
It's very very simple. So it's like it's a throwback to those kind of games. Do you have any like favorite examples of that, of like character who's not a character but then becomes a character because people kind of like them? Something like Football Manager man, or the helicopter from Grand Theft Auto.
I've got a fucking Zelda tattoo, Karl. I've got Link right there.
No, I mean a character who's not a character though. Like I said, Football Manager man. He's not like he doesn't exist.
Right.
But fans kind of created him.
Yeah, fair. I can't think of
the helicopter from Grand Theft Auto. That's become anthropomorphized as like a character within the wider universe.
Like things like Shovel Knight and Link are very much like very loose characters that you can just force yourself upon, right? You can
put a lot of your own personality
onto
that
character.
To the point with Link, you can name him in most games, right? Or a lot of the early ones, you could just pick his name. Like, dude doesn't even have a fucking name.
Yeah, so the only ones that you can't name Link in are Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, because there's voice acting now. So Zelda does say like Link.
You call it voice acting for Link. It's like, yeah.
No, there's voice acting for Zelda who says Link, wake up.
I think Zelda should be similar to The Sims and Monster Hunter, where no one should speak. They either don't speak, or they should speak gibberish that's made up for that universe.
Oh, the Animal Crossing, right?
Yeah. I think that gives them so much more personality. Like Undertale, right? Sans from Undertale. So much personality. So much more charming as well.
It's really charming. I'd love to have had something like that in Shovel Knight, because it is a bit like stilted when it comes to dialogue scenes. They're not exactly long, but it is like one of the more like, quick but boring aspects of the game. Is like not really bothered about the story when I play Shovel Knight. Very basic. But yeah, I think like I would argue that like the kind of animalese that they speak in Animal Crossing or the Simlish that they speak in The Sims, it adds a unique personality to those games.
Yeah, I kind of wish Zelda had that, where make up like Hyruleese or something like that. So, when I hear Zelda speaking English, it really just ruins my immersion of this magical, wonderful world. And she speaks fucking English.
Yeah, I suppose. There is like
Shadow of the Colossus, where they have like the made up language of the Colossi.
Yeah,
and
there is a
Wanda
similar
never
thing.
Fucking talks.
There's like a similar thing in Zelda where there is ancient Hylian, and like for example, in Wind Waker is a good example, because like it's a new game plus unlock. So in the original game, where there's like ancient characters speaking to one another, they speak in traditional Hylian, and it's just text that you don't understand. And if you play it in New Game Plus, you see the translation.
Oh, that's a cool detail. I love stuff like when you replay the game, you get extra context that you didn't have previously. Or you can enter an area of an item you wouldn't have had an initial playthrough. But in regards to that initial question I asked, like, a made-up character, man, like, one for me that I've got to mention him, we've got Rick, Soldier of God.
Oh,
from Elden Ring.
Yeah. It's not a made-up character, the character's there, but...
He's there, but there's personality being grafted onto him by fans due to just genuine enthusiasm. Do you want to explain Rick, the Soldier of God?
I'm familiar with Rick, but do you want to explain the backstory? Because I only half remember it at this point.
Okay, so Rick, Soldier of God is like, it's just a fan creation for the game Elden Ring, and the literal first boss you fight is just a dude in armor, Soldier of Godric, doesn't have a name. And Godric is like one of the bosses that you fight, and it's like he's one of many soldiers under his command. But fans have just interpreted that he's not the Soldier of Godric, he is Rick, the Soldier of God. And there are loads of mods that they've made for the game where they give him like 1 billion health and he kills everything in one hit.
It's great.
And like fans have just said, yeah, he's the strongest fucking boss in the entirety of the Souls series. Yeah. And they say, like, oh, you don't kill Rick. He's like, he hasn't got a health bar. He's got a frustration meter, and when he gets to the top, he leaves.
He just wanders off. Yeah.
And it's like there's this fan enthusiasm for the character, and it's just led to people just like maintaining the illusion of him being the strongest boss in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And like every now and again on Elden Ring, like subreddits and stuff, you'll see some posts like, how do I beat this dude? Like I got him down to his 16th life bar, but then he started spamming waterfall dance like level 3. What do I do? It's like, well, no one beats Rick. He's the soldier of God.
Oh God! Like how many of those iron balls do you think is needed to take down Rick, soldier of God?
That might be one of the funniest videos, like related to a video game. If go look it up, I think it's Beyond the Bear on YouTube, and there's also like Nameless Ring. They create fights in Elden Ring by just dropping bosses and enemies into an arena and watching them fight. Yeah. And they do one of like, just 10 balls versus all bosses, and the bosses just get stun locked to death by an acceptable amount of balls. One of them kills Melania, the hardest boss in the game. Besides the Rick, the soldier of God.
It's like a really weirdly hype moment in that where like all of them get taken out by like that big blast,
like Scarlet Ionia. Like, but then there's one ball left, and it just fucking charges at Melania and takes her out.
And it's like this fucking godlike just hero moment of just the one iron ball left just goes in.
The best one is like 50 savage dogs versus all bosses, and you're like Gideon the All-Knowing. It's like, because he gives his full speech to like 50 fucking dogs who wait for the speech and then immediately just tear into shreds. But yeah, it's similar to that. Fans at home, I'd love to know if there's any similar examples to like Soldier of God, Rick out there. 'Cause I love those like when genuine fan enthusiasm results in a character having more like play than they deserve or were intended to have, not deserve. So obviously the fan enthusiasm is real.
I think like the opposite of that happens in Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Okay.
And there's a character, it's like it's spelled Mido, but it's like Mido or Mido, depending on who you ask. And I always say Mido. So Mido is like the character that blocks you off from like either going to see the Deku Tree before you've got a sword and a shield, or leaving the forest before you're meant to, before you've completed like the dungeon. And just Mido is there like completely unstoppable aside from glitches. So like this one kid moves so fast to block you off, and just like he's like a perfect goalkeeper for the Deku Tree. Of like the kid just will never let you past, and like he is irrelevant to the entire rest of the game, but because it happens right at the start and it's the like literal first roadblock you encounter, people hate this kid.
Oh, so it's like he's just a random kid in the game, but people have just like, you know what, fuck this one particular character.
Fuck Mido in particular. Like, everyone hates him.
I forget who it is now. It's like that's the opposite of that, way it's fan annoyance at the character. I think it was that one dipshit in Skyrim, because we mentioned like the Elder Scrolls. I think it's the guy who's like Nazim. Where it's, have you been to the Cloud District? Didn't think so. To the fucking Dragonborn. And like a lot of players make it there in a new run. The very first thing you have to do is you have to go kill him.
Like kill Nazim%, yeah.
Yeah, and there's like one of those like there's a legendary like shit post on Reddit of a guy's like, every time I start a new playthrough, I have to go straight there and I kill him and I get a black soul gem to capture his soul, and then I walk, never run, because it's a solemn journey to the end of the game map, and I drop his soul gem into the water and just fuck him.
Oh, that's dedication.
It isn't. That's it. It's genuine fan enthusiasm. Not for that character, but for like the game world and things of that nature. And I remember like that's one of the reasons like Shovel Knight did so well, because there was just such an enthusiasm. People were like, he's just a little guy with his little shovel, and he was everywhere for a little bit. He guest starred in all the games. Like
everyone single big indie game that you came across, it was like, and Shovel Knight's in here too.
It became a running gag, didn't it? Like if you didn't get him in, it's like, well, you're not a very good game if Shovel Knight doesn't want to join in.
And also bear in mind, it's one of the only non-Nintendo published properties that got Amiibo.
Yeah.
Like, Shovel Knight got Amiibo. That is...
People just like Shovel Knight.
Actually quite insane when you think about it. Like, maybe the only other things are like Monster Hunter Street Fighter, Mega Man, like the Capcom stuff.
Do you like not medieval? Undertale ever get one?
No.
So, like Sans was in Smash as like a costume.
So Sans and Cuphead both got costumes in Smash. They didn't get amiibo.
Okay, because I know that. And I like the story behind that.
Had like a close relationship with Capcom, so Capcom have done a few, and like there was also the Skylanders vehicle Bowser Mario Bowser and DK crossover things that you do with Skylanders. But yes, for an indie game, and bear in mind Yacht Club Games, like this is their first ever game, Shovel Knight.
Like imagine just knocking it out of the park with your first attempt like that.
They got like to the level of like, oh yeah, only basically Capcom and Shovel Knight got amiibo that aren't Nintendo related.
It's like Harper Lee Collins, who wrote like To Kill a Mockingbird, where she got given a gift by a friend. This seems like a strange comparison, but she got given like a gift of, here's some money, write that book you've been talking about. Release one book, To Kill a Mockingbird, never release another one.
Oh, really?
And every time she was asked of like, were you going to write another book? Why? I've already written one of the greatest books ever on my first attempt, fucking nailed it. And I think she did release a second book posthumously because her estate would just found some old letters and got a ghostwriter to fill them in. But yeah, but one novel, To Kill a Mockingbird. Fucking nailed it first attempt.
You wrote Kill a Mockingbird first turn and just like, I'm out.
Yeah, there's like Yacht Club Games. What did you drop for your first game? Fucking like Shovel Knight. Oh.
And the reason I am
some other examples of that?
Knight,
of just a creative, just nailing it on the first attempts.
Oh, I do wonder.
There's obviously examples of it. I just can't think of it off the top of my head. Besides, like the Harper Lee Collins one of just like.
I guess, you know, a lot of indie games probably come across this category, right? Of like, think about Undertale. That is potentially Toby Fox's first released game, or at least.
I'm not sure the exact story of Undertale has a long and sordid history.
Yeah,
it's far sexier
maybe while I read through this, you could just double check.
I'll look up Toby Fox.
Because Undertale is another one of those massive indie successes alongside Shovel Knight, right? Like, there's, I think of the Binding of Isaac as being another one, but Binding of Isaac was like a few games down the line for Edmund Macmillan.
Doesn't that have like a similarly like just long lifespan where that was like a Newgrounds game or something initially?
Yes.
It was like a Flash game, right?
It was like a Flash game on Newgrounds to begin with, and then it became like we got like the Binding of Isaac Rebirth, and then that got like multiple expansions on top of that, and it's been released for like similarly every platform you can think of for the past like 10-15 years, including the 3DS and Wii U as well.
And it started that early. And I looked at like it seems that Undertale was Toby Fox's first game. It says that he worked on like a ROM hack of Earthbound. But his first proper game was Undertale. And it's like knocked it out the fucking park. And like that went from strength to strength and ended with Toby Fox literally meeting Masahiro Sakurai, the like lead director of Smash Bros, beating him at his own game, and as a result he put Sans in Smash Bros. And
then also managed to become a composer on the Pokemon games.
Yep.
Like,
and
not the head composer, but he composed like some of the best tracks for the last two games. Or last two mainline games. Like, he's done like, I think he did like the Battle Tower theme in like Sword and Shield.
Yes.
If I'm correct, or one of them.
And then the Overworld theme in like Scarlet Violet, I think.
Yeah.
And what an absolute fucking wild journey for that dude, right? Of making a game that like just cobbled together, and eventually he saw the music from it being played in front of the Pope.
Yeah, true. I
fucking wild.
Megalomania being played for the Pope.
That's got to be so weird. Like the closest I've gotten to experience this, like the small amount of success I've had online, is when I got invited to that like event in LA, and I'd got to play like Rocket League with Herman Lee of Dragon Force, and I was like, okay, that was a very strange moment.
Like, that's a very big moment, obviously. I'm not trying to diminish it. It's not quite the Pope knows of your existence and creative work.
Yeah, there's also
that is wild.
I can't imagine what it'd be like of just to go from that. That's what first game fucking Shovel Knight is in Smash Bros. Now. What?
Yeah, and I'm talking about Shovel Knight because I've recently played it. I saw Mina the Hollower come out and was like, that looks really cool. It's got great reviews, but you know what I already own? Shovel Knight. Let's go play Shovel Knight again, because it absolutely slaps, and I haven't played it in 10 years. So, yeah, it's one of those of, I forgot it's not necessarily a short game. I thought it was a little bit longer than it is. It took me about like 5 hours to get through, but bear in mind I've already beaten it.
Mm-hmm.
But like just then the fact that yeah, you forget that just they also added like 3 other entire campaigns.
Oh yeah, like the game
characters
just kept going on. It's like, so I'm not the biggest fan of it. I played it initially when it came out years and years and years ago, and it's like, just that particular game didn't gel with me. I'm not the biggest.
And that's
fan
the thing
of
is like, it's inspired by like gameplay and graphics of platformer games developed for the NES, which is not really your like wheelhouse necessarily.
Not particularly, no. Like the NES, I did have one as a kid, but it's that classic story of, well, what games did I have for it? The ones that we could afford. So like Super Metroid and Killer Instinct and
well, no, that's the SNES, right?
SNES, sorry, yeah.
So yeah, I was like Metroid and Super Metroid. They're very much the same, but very different. It is a weird one of like playing Super Metroid, and then I went back like years later to Metroid and went, "Oh, this feels horrible."
Oh, it's so slow.
Yeah.
And that's one thing you can't say about Shovel Knight. Dude hauls ass.
So, Shovel Knight's movement is particularly quite slow. I will say that much, but there's a lot of momentum. Like, you can like jump in the air, keep your momentum, like do the pogo stick bouncing. Like, later on, you then get power-ups where you're like absolutely moving. But when you first start the game, and you haven't got any of the power-ups and stuff, like, dude is quite slow and quite basic. It's weird to go back to the beginning of, yeah.
I've got a question for you then. Beginning of game, end of game. What character do you think makes, like, the biggest jump in what they're able to do? I know there's some characters who like Final Fantasy characters, you can't say any of those, they all literally become god slayers by the end of most games. But is there a character you think of, like, in terms of mechanics, like, mechanically, the way they control is so fundamentally different to how they start? So you mentioned like Super Metroid, right? Of like the start of that game, Samus, she can haul a reasonable amount of ass. By the end of it, she can fly.
I mean, Metroid Dread, though.
Metroid Dread, especially, which is like just fucking gameplay-wise has the fuck you, everything dies beam.
And also just the dash and the speed boost and stuff. Like, it feels even better than in Super Metroid, right?
Yeah, because I think it's probably like a character action game. Because every now and again, when I get the urge to like replay a Devil May Cry or something, you just forget like not having access to the options you have with like a fully leveled up Dante. You feel so limited in what you're able to do.
I would argue like it doesn't quite count because you unlock most of the stuff like relatively early. But like Tears of the Kingdom Link might be a good example.
Oh, like, just
an hour
fucking
into
Halo
the game,
jumps.
Like you've got like beginning of the game, and admittedly it's only like an hour or two later, like you've got just God Link with all of his ultra hand abilities and stuff of just I can do whatever. I can ascend through mountains. I can build mechs with my like bare hand. Just the guy is unstoppable. He can already actually say like Halo jump and climb anything he feels like by just shoving his fists in there. But
like sheer raw manliness, right? And I think that is you've got a point there. He does get all his abilities very, very quickly.
That's the difference, right? Is it's not a gradual progression throughout the game. It's more just, hey, we're going to give you big tutorial at the start where you learn all those abilities, and then you go have fun in the sandbox.
So I think it's like another one probably like Yakuza. Of every game, Kiryu always loses all his abilities. But like end game Kiryu is absolutely fucking unstoppable compared to like base Kiryu.
I like the idea that like Kiryu does like a Samus and gets hit one time really hard at the start of every game. It's like, oh no, I forgot to turn into a morph ball.
Yeah, they always use the excuse like he went to prison.
Right.
I think like
the only thing that he could do in prison isn't just work out and train.
Yeah. Well, they say that he does his. I think in Yakuza 6 specifically, they say, "Oh, did you forget how to fight?" It's like, well, I did my stretches, but I've not worked out. And they always like have a plot point of like another character who knows what Kiryu was like in his prime, like he was a fucking beast. So, okay, you've clearly lost your edge. I'm going to train you again. Like you bump into Kameki or Majima. Like, I think in one of the games, the Majima Everywhere system is just Majima's like, I'm so disappointed that my rival, the Goku to my Vegeta, I guess in Majima's head he's the Goku, which is what was such a Vegeta move. But like he's so annoyed that the one person as strong as he is has lost his edge. He just jumps him every opportunity he gets.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think it's like maybe Kiwami 2 or something where that happens, right?
Yeah.
Like a remake of 2, and I think he's like just annoyed that Kiryu's lost his edge, as you say.
After he was sent to prison, yeah.
I'm just going to jump you at every opportune moment so that you learn to just always be on edge.
The Majima Everywhere system might be one of the absolute greatest things put into a video game. The idea of make it a system in the game, and he is everywhere. There's one of the funniest things in that game is when you see a suspiciously large cone and it moves and it follows you, and Kiryu's like, I wonder what that is. Like, Kiryu, you know it's Majima. It's always him. But I love how genuinely innocent and naive Kiryu is about everything in that world.
Isn't there a moment where he like jumps you at karaoke or something as well?
Yeah, and Kiryu like gets really mad about it. He says this is sacred ground, which is Japanese and it's karaoke. There's another way it's the racing mini game, which is like you literally compete against children. Majima turns up to that and he has his own little car with an eye patch on it. And Kiryu's like, we can't fight here. This is sacred ground.
It's like, you can attack me in the streets, but you can't attack my hobbies, Majima. Come on.
I think that guy comes back in like Yakuza 6 and Kiryu meets him again. Like he meets like the tabletop car racing dude, and he's lost his edge, and you have to help him regain his fighting spirit. And it plays his theme song from number 2.
Can you imagine a combination of the Majima Everywhere system combined with the Nemesis system?
Oh, it'd be so good.
Just like every now and then, just you'll get another gang member that turns back up, and he's just like, he can appear at any point, and he's just like, you know, got battle scars from your last battle, and he's learned how to fight Kiryu better.
Oh man, like that, it's so disappointing that Nemesis system from like Shadow of Mordor is never fucking coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it like it's owned like by someone and they just don't want to sell it? And apparently it's like a huge ball ache on the back end to like program into a game.
It's difficult to program already. Warner Bros. Own the patent for it, so it can't be used for like 20 years from when it was patented. And it's also something to do with like, I think Monolith. Maybe it's not Monolith. That might be.
Do you know what? I'm going to change my option. I'm going to change my option to that this week. I'm doing the Nemesis system now, so I want to talk about it because I'm curious about it.
Fair, yeah. So I'm
going to change my wiki that I'm picking to that because I'm so curious about how it works. So yeah, we'll talk about that after we've done the rest of your wiki. Let's go. I'm genuinely interested in how it works, and I want to know what the deal is. Like, I've always heard the story that you can't have it in a game anymore, but I don't know why. So let's look it up, and we'll cover that after we finish talking about your wiki entry.
There we go then. But yeah, going back to Shovel Knight then. The game received critical acclaim, with critics considering it one of the greatest video games ever made.
First attempt.
First
attempt, fucking nailed it.
Additional campaigns, the original story received the retronym Shovel of Hope. What's a retronym mean?
It's like a name where you like they later retroactively giving it a new name.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so that's a new word I didn't know existed, but there we go. Yeah, so it became Shovel Knight, Shovel of Hope. The original story became Shovel of Hope, and the game became Shovel Knight Treasure Trove. That's right.
There we go.
Yeah. So
to be fair, that's a fucking sick name, the Shovel of Hope. It's such an unassuming weapon for a hero to use. I'm always a fan of an interesting weapon in a video game that gives you an interesting moveset. I think we recently talked about Dante's Inferno. There's a big episode on that coming out like next month.
Yes.
And we talked about how annoyed, we didn't mention it specifically, but I've always been annoyed about that game. You have a scythe, but the scythe just turns into a whip so it can become the Blades of Chaos from God of War. But a scythe's not really a weapon you see people wield in character action games much. I would like to use that as a weapon.
Well, it's an interesting goal because one of the other enemies, but then protagonists,
it's Plague Knight, right?
There's Plague Knight, Spectre Knight, and King Knight. So you get to play.
King Knight's a fucking sick name.
Yeah,
like how everyone in the Shovel Knight universe is just a knight. There's knights who control all aspects of reality.
And one thing I really enjoy is that there's an option in the game to select the gender of every single character, so you can make them all, as they were intended, all male or all female. And you can go in and, for example, like you'll fight King Knight, but if you've changed them to be female, it'll be Queen Knight.
And that's like...
So you can fight Queen Knight, and it's just an option at the start of the game of like, hey, do you want to body swap anyone?
It's well, because it's similar to like Link, right? Changing his name. It's like it's the player avatar. So if you choose to interpret the player avatar one particular way, that's perfectly valid.
But it's really cool that they'll go in and make changes to the character models for every single sprite.
It's a fun change, yeah. Like, because I think me and your opinion, right? Whenever we play a game, we always play as a woman because generally, just from a gameplay perspective, women usually have the stronger designs and they get more customization options, such as hairstyles.
Mm-hmm. And it's really interesting to just be like, do you want to play a female Shovel Knight? Do you want all your enemies to be female or male?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You don't have to be a male to be a knight. You just have to embody those knightly qualities. What they talk about in Game of Thrones, isn't it? See, where like the one good scene in the last season, where, like they knight Brienne. Of like, well, you don't need to like have a lord to become a knight. Any knight can knight a knight. So, oh, okay. Because I've been doing that shit all the time.
Just going around and making everyone a knight.
Apparently, like Prince Harry used to do it in university. Like, he'd get pissed and knight people. And there's people out there who are like, well, I got pissed with Prince Harry when he was in Eton. Like, we shoved beer cans up our ass or whatever he got up to. And he knighted me. And I guess, I'm technically a knight, but I can't prove it.
Yeah, because it was like a random drunk moment that you can't prove, right?
Paper, like, you know, the son of the monarch now.
I wonder whether that gets revoked now that they have left, like, the royal family, right?
I'm not sure, but I think, like, historically it is, like, you can do it because you've been empowered with that ability. Because if I knew someone who could do that, I'd be asking that shit every day. I would never leave them alone until they made me a knight.
But yeah, you get to play as some of the other knights in the campaigns, and you got a full campaign of Plague of Shadows, and then others that are Spectre of Torment and King of Cards. And in Spectre of Torment, you get to play Spectre Knight, who has a giant scythe as a weapon.
Cool beans. Now, what's like your favourite weapon then from a video game? Or
well, in this video game, my favourite preferred character to play as is Spectre Knight.
Okay.
So having that giant scythe is really cool because they use it as a dash mechanic where basically you can like the main gimmick of Spectre Knight is that there's like little floating just like points that they can dash through with their scythe. So you get like an air dash from second one, which is really nice.
And you like that from like the mechanics that he does, because the classic is obviously the Blades of Chaos, like Kratos using like whips to move around and stuff.
I can't even remember the name of the character, but there is a character that was introduced in Soul Calibur 3.
Ooh,
and they have like don't think so. They have like the giant circular blade.
Oh, Tira.
Tira.
Yes, where she has it's the hula hoop of death.
Yeah, just the death hoop. And that was such a fun character to play as, and such an
interesting weapon, right? I've never seen a weapon like that wielded. So it allows for it's automatically going to be a plus in my book because this is novel and unique. I've played plenty of characters with swords and big axes, but never one like this.
Yeah, no, I still think to this day that is the only video game character I've seen with a giant hula hoop of death.
Yeah, and like she also has a fun like mechanic where she has two moods where. Because she's just completely fucking batshit insane. She's got like big like I can fix her energy. Yeah. And like you can headbutt the hoop to self damage to change stances. It's similar to have you seen anything about that new Avatar fighting game that's coming out?
I'm aware of its existence and people said it was like fun to demo.
It's looking fucking clean, yeah. And in that Azula has two modes, and she basically has just like crash out mode if she loses the fight. So if she loses a round, she goes into crash out mode and becomes more aggressive. But because it has like a variation system, you can pick like who you want your support partner to be, and you can pick it is a fucking unhinged pick of the mirror with her like missing mother in it looking disappointed. That makes her automatically crash out and start in that mode from the start of the battle.
And I don't know if you've seen this news because it's like, you know, a bit of a niche news pick, but like Marvel vs. Capcom 3 or Ultimate on, I think it was just the PC version's got a new patch.
Yeah, I did see something about this. Like, what the fuck?
It stops Dark Phoenix from activating when Phoenix dies.
Oh. So they patched the game to break the character.
they patched it and accidentally broke Phoenix.
Oh, okay.
It's like they patched the game, 15 years later, and broke a character's main mechanic.
Do you know what it is? That's like that guy who invented the GIF, went on stage to accept like an award at like something like for contributions to the internet, walked on stage, said it's pronounced GIF, then left. Just threw the hand grenade into the room and left. It's not my problem anymore. Where's that? I think that's such an interesting mechanic for a game. Like you have crash out mode where she's just completely flipping her shit, and like they've put some absolutely unhinged lines in that game, where if you make her fight a brother, when she goes into that mode, she's like, now I get to be an only child. And she's like whomping her own brother's ass in front of like the ghost of her mother. Or if you pick like if you pick soccer, he has like a girlfriend in the first season who turns into the moon, which is it's rough for him. And then you have like his later girlfriend, but you can have like that first character as a support character, but his install is kissing his girlfriend. And if you do that in front of his other girlfriend from the show, she has an animation of getting pissed off about it.
Oh, I love little interactions like that.
It shows the people who made it care, right? And I know Shovel Knight from my time playing has a lot of those in there. It's just a lot of polish, a lot of love and attention and care went into the game for stuff that not a lot of people are going to notice just because they wanted to put it in.
It also got a fighting game in the game. They got like a Smash Bros. Style platformer fighting game called Shovel Knight Showdown within Shovel Knight. Bear in mind that was released like 2019. So they spent 6 years from release still updating that game, included with the price of just purchasing the original game, bear in mind. They didn't ask for any more money. It was all included in the Kickstarter goals of like, hey, we really let this get out of hand. It turns out that on top of like 6 years or whatever we spent developing the game, the promises we made from the Kickstarter put like another 6 years worth of game development on this. Of like,
that was like I said, genuine fan enthusiasm for the project. It's the opposite of what happened with Starfield, right? That is not Starfield. What's that game that's never coming out? Is it Star Citizen?
Star Citizen.
That's never fucking coming out, right?
Of like it's raised like I think like hundreds of millions of $1 billion, is it?
It crossed $1 billion recently. Yeah, that's why it was in my mind.
Right, it's like it's crossed $1 billion of like revenue, not profit, revenue, but it's got $1 billion worth of input for a game that has not released.
Yeah, like people are buying. Like the only people who'd fall for NFTs are playing that game because they're buying like, well, I bought a ship. Is it in the game yet? No, they promised to put it in the game at some point. It's like
how much did it cost? Oh, like £300,000.
Like I think a couple of grand, Jeff. Some of them.
I think
at that point, like just buy a car.
There is one like super special one that's literally like hundreds of thousands or something, I believe.
As well, if I was making that game, I'd also sell PNG. If people were willing to pay for my PNGs for hundreds of quid, under a promise, or the vague promise that eventually it might exist, I'd sell it. Like, easiest fucking layup ever, right? Of like, you can just sit there and collect idiots' money. Thank you.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe it looks like it's going to be like thousands, not... Yeah, so $25,000 is the most expensive skin.
What's like the best Kickstarter excuse for failure? And why is it that guy who like just went crazy and said the son told me not to make this game? But the son also told him to keep the money.
To keep the money.
Now, that's the best one, right? I don't remember this. Well, if you look up, there's legitimately a guy who did a Kickstarter for a video game and just announced like, unfortunately, the son told me not to make this game, so I'm not. Thank you for the money, and they just fucked off.
Okay, so there was a board game developer that raised over $7,000 on Kickstarter, but couldn't complete the project because the son is telling her to abandon it.
The thing is, though, right? That person's clearly crazy, and you can, to an extent, convince a crazy person to not be as crazy if you've got like the ability, like you've got the language and knowledge to do so. You can't convince someone to ignore the sun. Kiss the sun. No. Yeah. So if they think like, like the shadow people are telling me to do it, okay, the shadow people can't get you, the sun can. The sun can get you.
And I do think that that's like, at least a funnier and like less, literally it made less money than like the fact that, say for example, like all the rug pulls that like these internet celebrities do, like Logan Paul and shit, and like
yeah. But say if you're investing in Logan Paul's thing, like, I'm sorry, but what do you expect? Like the old phrase, like, right?
That video game
easily parted.
Yeah, like the video game where he promised that like you could buy eggs to then like gain money off them, and it was all like investment shit and in a video game, and it was all, you know, all the classics like the NFTs and all that good jazz. And there's also like the crypto pulls that people have done, like that Hawk Tour girl, right?
Oh yeah, to be fair, I respect her so much. Of like, she like did an NFT rug pull, was getting interviewed about it, and then just said, I don't want to talk about it anymore, I'm going to bed, and then just didn't log on for 2 weeks, and everyone forgot about it. And it's like, it is proof. Like, the other thing when you're a kid and you think the serial killer can't get me if I put a sheet over my head, it's that mentality taken to its logical extreme, and it worked. She just literally said, I'm going to bed now, and just didn't post for 2 weeks, and no one brought it up again.
She did a crypto scam, ran away, and just everyone went, I guess that happened then.
Yeah, and I think now she just streams on YouTube to a handful of people, but she got a bag.
Yeah,
I have so much respect for those like micro celebrities who
how she did it, but the idea of like I've got my 15 minutes in the sunlight, right?
Yeah. Don't overstay the welcome. And I know I say this into my 10th year on YouTube. Shut up. It's like, the people who like, you know, they make that success and they get their money and they just go away.
Yeah, she was famous for one line, was a meme, and was like, I've got 15 minutes to cash the fuck in.
Yeah, I want to get a lot of weird men online to buy my merch.
What's better? Is it that or fucking Gamer Girl bathwater?
Well, that was incredible, because the dude who tried to like threaten the suit because he did like took it to like, a lab to do DNA testing, and so there's no Gamer Girl DNA in there. I think it's the dude who vaped it and got sick. He's the one, right? Remember that?
I didn't remember that.
Because the thing is that everyone made fun of the Gamer Girl bathwater stuff, but if I could do it, I would.
Yeah, 100,000%. If I could convince people to spend that amount of money on my bathwater, yes, I will bottle that up.
Yeah.
Yes.
And as well, like, just what was really funny, because I think it's Belle Delphine, right? I was not familiar with them, save for just via reputation. I remember like my sister had a brief period where she was really into her, and one time I went home and here's a picture of me drinking out of like the Belle Delphine mug that my sister had. I didn't know who it was. And that photo was like, did you buy the bathwater? I'm like, well, I don't know what the joke is here. Because my sister was like briefly a fan of their work.
And then you got the good old grifter follow-up of Sydney Sweeney doing like, hey, we've made a soap that contains my bathwater or something. That was weird.
It's like, I'm not paying for it unless you farted in it. That's the way, right?
Was it?
You'll get real weird with it. Like, the other one was that dude who made vodka, and before it was bottled, it was exclusively poured over the breasts of supermodels. And it's like, you know what? Fair.
If you can convince people to sit there and get vodka poured over them so you can make more money out of your vodka, fair enough.
I never understood like the deal with like OnlyFans and stuff like that. And every time I see someone like moan about it being easy, I think to all the people during the pandemic who tried it, got the immediate crushing realization that maybe your arsehole isn't as attractive as you thought it was, and getting like 3 people follow them.
Yeah.
And realising you have to put a lot of work in. It is work.
It is work. It is a full-time job. Like, people can't just post their dogs online. They've got to promote those dogs.
Yeah. There's work to it, and like just the work to maintain, just the level of fitness. Like, I've got friends who do it, and it's like one of the hardest parts, like going to the fucking gym every day to be in like absolutely perfect shape to continue this, and like it's not. And then also like having to be completely made up. And obviously it's not the most difficult thing to do, but there's effort and skill there.
Yeah, and I had a conversation with someone who was like, oh, my friend makes loads of money like doing weird stuff with their feet, like putting it in, you know, food objects and stuff like that.
Like, if you're not doing with the hot dogs as well, like hot dog buns, like you got to put the dogs in the hot dogs.
Yeah, like
people do it.
You know, doing stuff like that. And they're like, so I think I might just do it. I was like, okay, but like, how much Hey, like, they made a decent amount, but, like, how much effort do they have to put into it? They don't just take pictures of their feet or take videos of their feet. They're promoting themselves. They've got good equipment. They know what they're doing with, like, the recording side of it, and all, the lighting and the audio.
Because I think to one of my friends of mine who does it, they explained it to me. Like, so I was more curious of, like, the people who pay for the specialty content. Because the old joke is, right, like, it's not that difficult to find, like, pictures of naked women on the internet. If you search it, they're there. You can trust me on this one.
It's, like, specifically curated to the exact need and want that you.
That's what they explain to me. Yes. Like, let's say, for example, okay, you like blondes. Okay, search blondes. I want blondes who are this tall. Okay, that narrows it down a bit more. Blondes, tattoos, this tall. They wear glasses, and you just keep adding another thing on and say, okay, now I want them doing this one specific thing in this pose. And they likened it to an itch that can't be scratched. But then imagine if someone hands you a back scratcher and you, for the first time you've ever had that specific itch scratched, and then they take it away from you. Wouldn't you pay to have that itch scratched again? It's just the psychological attraction equivalent.
It's actually probably one of the most threatened jobs in terms of AI, is that if the ability to type in whatever prompt you want to get a well enough realized version of that via AI video, instead of paying someone online to specifically go and do that act for you, that's a lot of people's jobs that are just gone.
It is weird though. I don't want, like, soulless dead eyes.
No, I'm not saying that I would find that appropriate.
There are weirdos out there who have, like, will do that.
But I'm sure there's a lot of people that will be like, close enough. And, like, it does, I don't know, like, for some people, whether that takes away, like, that kind of personal side of things, right? Is because, like,
I think there's that aspect of it as well I've heard about. It's like the girlfriend experience.
You know that it's specifically made for you.
Yeah. It's like to know that it's another, even though, obviously, you could say, well, they're providing a service.
Mm-hmm.
It's suspension of disbelief, right? And it can be healthy, it can be unhealthy. Cause we've all heard the stories about people with unhealthy attachment to someone online, or believing that they're in a relationship with someone because they've seen pictures of them online. I think we mentioned it in, like, a recent video, right? Is it Alana Pierce, where she's had to deal with that? Like, weird to her online, like, just assuming that they're in a relationship, or people, like, catfished as her.
Yeah, there's a conversation that I think would have gone out on, like, the video that's coming out today.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, she had to, like, not had to, but the way that she combated a lot of weird men sending her horrible messages was to track down their mums online and send them those messages.
Such a boss move.
The most boss of,
like, telling someone's mum, like, that's the thing. I have sent some unhinged shit to my girlfriends in the past, and that's between us. That's our thing. That's between us. If that got sent to my mum,
that's consensual.
Yeah, but I don't think I could look my mum in the eye. There's a spark of innocence that's lost right after that moment. You can never get that back.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the old classic one. It's a phrase that a friend of mine used, like, about their ex, because they suddenly just started trashing her, and she just went, "Well, you can talk all the mad shit you want, but you can't unlick my bumhole." And that person just deleted their online account. And I just thought, again, that's such a boss bitch move. Because just like he was trashing her on all the social media like that, and she just posted that in response, and the dude just deleted his account on Facebook. It was so perfect.
That's just... Oh, that is a perfect response.
It's so dismissive. Oh, I respected that move so much.
Oh, that's incredible. Oh, but... we haven't actually got that much into Shovel Knight. Somehow we've ended up down a rabbit hole, which, I always love these kind of episodes. But
yeah, Shovel Knight will get out of that rabbit hole pretty quick though. He's got a shovel.
That's it. Would Shovel Knight just dig himself deeper? Would Shovel Knight just start posting about, actually, your bumhole's not that tasty?
It's like, well, speaking, he'd be literally digging in that butthole, right? I guess getting right in there. He's such a threatening weapon. I always single it out about that scene in Shaun of the Dead where Nick Frost's character threatens someone with a corkscrew. It's such a threatening thing to, like, put in someone's face. Like, a shovel, you look at that and go, that's not going to be a clean. That's going to take a long time to kill you.
that's one of the two weapons they use at the beginning, right? It's a shovel and a cricket bat.
Yep.
And then, yeah, I do think it's way more threatening because you think about, like, the pain of a corkscrew. Like, you can it's literally a knife that twists itself.
Yeah, it's not clean.
It's not
like a shovel
either.
as well. It's such like a threatening thing. Do you know sometimes when you have a shovel in your hand and you think, yeah, you could kill someone with this?
Mm-hmm.
Every now and again, you get those like the intrusive thoughts when you like hold like a hammer or a screwdriver. It's like you could really easily kill someone with this thing.
See, the one for me is just like, I work at a restaurant where we cut a lot of chicken up.
Big knife.
And it's the big cleaver. And every time I hold that, I'm like, I could just cut my fingers off.
Wouldn't that be funny?
Like, again, it's just like, it's like Call of the Void, right?
Yeah, there's a French term for it that sounds more poetic. Yeah, it's Call of the Void is the term for it. So that's the feeling you get if you've been like driving a car and just think, what would happen if I opened the door?
Mm.
I mean, you don't, but just that, if you ever had that urge to know, or like when you walk over like a bridge, not like quite the same thing as like you're not having like actively suicidal thoughts, but just you'd look over a bridge and think, what would happen if I jumped?
Mm-hmm. And I looked it up here, and I think it's pronounced like L'Appel de Vide.
There we go. Call of the Void.
The Call of the Void, which it does sound fucking cool. Like, that's a band name right there.
It really is. I'd listen to that.
Actually, that's an album name, I think. Like,
concept album.
Yeah, like fucking random like prog rock, like fucking I don't know, Deep Purple come out with an album called like The Call of the Void. It's like I'm listening to that shit. Oh, but yeah, I do really enjoy the idea of like the name of Yacht Club games as well.
Mm-hmm.
Of like basically the conception of the like name was just like, wouldn't it be great if we made like a game successful enough to be like a dickhead with a big giant yacht?
Oh, and that's what it's named for.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Like, there's always like fun stories. Like it humanises the people behind it.
Mm-hmm. For sure, yeah. And it's kind of unfortunate, and I'm glad because, like, as I mentioned earlier, I started playing through Shovel Knight because Mina the Hollower came out, but because Mina the Hollower, development-wise, similar to this, got so out of hand, there's, like, news stories that were going around. I'm like, oh yeah, Mina the Hollower has now, instead of being, like, this small game we're doing on the side, because they also were and are developing, like, a 3D Shovel Knight game. And the idea would be to go from, like, 2D platformer to, like, Mario 64-esque style, like, 3D platformer. But Mina the Hollower just got out of hand, and it's like, oh yeah, this is make or break for us now. Like, Mina the Hollower doesn't sell. We just put way too much into it.
You put too much money into it, which is it's a shame when something like that happens, like overextending. And it's like if I ever achieved that level of success, I always joke, you would never fucking see me again.
Yeah. Especially on an individual level. Like, if I had made Undertale, obviously with the multiple releases and stuff, Undertale ended up being way more than a solo project. Like, you look at the credits of that, Toby Fox didn't work on it on his own, especially with all the translation needed for different languages and stuff.
But at the same time, Toby Fox is probably the best example of this, where Toby Fox is just living their best life. Occasionally working on Deltarune, but they've presumably got enough money to live off.
I would argue the person that is living the best life is the developer of Balatro.
Oh yeah, you've talked. It's Local Thunk, right?
Yes, that's it. Thank you.
Didn't they like straight up just say like I was working on a sequel, but I'm rich now, so maybe I'll get around to it?
They're kind of taking that attitude of just like, hey, this was another one of the games I made that was like literally just like a small little project because I liked making dumb games for my friends to play, and they just send their games to friends and never really did anything with them.
Mm-hmm.
Then Balatro became this like multi-million like selling game, and they don't make appearances in public. They basically are the only person that touched that game again when it became more successful. And like
presumably there was like handlers or like someone worked at like whatever company it was getting ported to. There's people who've touched it in a contracting capacity.
Mm-hmm. But like, yeah, no one knows who they are. Apart
That's
from,
the
like,
best one.
Like, a handful of people. They got a shit ton of money, and it's like, I'll do whatever the fuck I want. If I make more updates, I make more updates.
Yes. So I know like Toby Fox is very private, but they are like active on social media to an extent, and like they're working on another game. But that dude just been like, you know what, fucking done.
I've got the money to palm off every responsibility to other people. I've made some money, and I can do what I want now.
It's you seldom get feel good stories on the internet, especially when it comes to like people finding success, because normally it's either success goes to their head, it's short lived, or they immediately just regress to their baser instincts and do something horrible.
I think another really heartful story is like just a inner sloth who made Among Us.
Yeah, they just it was like 3 or 4 people, right?
It ended up being a team of 4 when they like accepted awards for it. So that's as far as I'm aware of the like team size at that time. But then they decided like, hey, we're cancelling the sequel. Like they were working on an Among Us 2 when Among Us just popped off because of like streamers and stuff.
It's like, you know what, we work on Among Us now because that's where the money is.
Exactly, and it's like we'll just forget about the sequel for now. Work on Among Us updates. Everyone go play that and buy that. And they made so much money that then they formed Outer Sloth, which is like a publishing chain
where they
just find other good indie games and go help other people make games. And it's like that's such a good way of taking that money and just putting it in the right place, right? Of just we're gonna hopefully help other people just find the success we had.
And presumably as well as part of that, they'll get a cut. Maybe like a small amount,
of course, yeah.
But if I was running a business like that, that's what it's investing, right? You make your money work for you.
That's how publishing works, right? Is like you put bets on other games to do well. But yeah, just the idea that they're like, hey, we just want other indie games to succeed. We had a game years after its release go massively viral. We're just going to take that money and put it into good places.
Yeah. So it's take the money and fucking run. Do what the Hawks 2 girl did. So I'm going to bed now. It'll all blow over.
And me and the whole like so far has done well. And they've said that like, hey, you know, we're not in fear of shutting down right now. It's sold like hundreds of thousands of copies. But it's, you know, one of the best rated games this year so far. It's literally in the 90s on Metacritic, I believe. And like, yeah, it just apparently absolutely kicks ass. And I have heard many accounts now, including one of our close friends, say like
just the game, where
the game is a bit weird in the opening of like you've kind of got to like spend the first hour or so like grinding, but then every single person I've heard talk about it is like, but when you hit that first dungeon, oh my god, the game turns around.
When it locks in place, like once you've like settled into the character, and I imagine it's just I've not seen the game, but I imagine that decision is just we need to ease you into the amount of options that you have.
I presume so, yeah. Yeah, speaking of like sales and stuff, it says that by 2019, September 2019, 2.65 million copies had been sold of Shovel Knight. But yeah, it does. I do think it's like that's very, very good for an indie game for a first release. That's by 2019. There's another 7 years of sales. But that entire time, they were paying for development on that game after the fact anyway. So they also spent years catching up to themselves of what they'd promised. So it probably wasn't as like profitable as you would have hoped. But it did.
You'd hope like they have bought their yachts, even though, fun fact, it's on the single most shit-ass purchase you can make. They say it's the 2 happiest days in a boat owner's life: the day he buys his boat, and the day he sells his boat.
Oh, really? Yeah.
They're just huge money pits. They cost a fortune to maintain. Because you've got to maintain. It's not like a car, is it? Where, well, if your car falls apart, at least it's just sat there on the road. If the boat falls apart, it fucking sinks.
And then you've got to deal with
then you've got to get it,
and stuff. Like, you're not allowed to just leave flotsam and jetsam in the water. You've got to go and get it all yourself. Yeah. It's interesting though, because like yachts wise, like I know that there's the joke online, right, of like Gabe Newell just like sits there in his yacht as Steam just earns him infinite money. And it's like I imagine love how on that level he's probably fine. He probably enjoys his yacht.
Well, he's that rich, right? I think it's always like Gabe Newell. It's always funny when you see interviews with him where like they keep like other like online stores are like, well, it's a monopoly, and Gabe Newell's like, well, just make a better product. I can't like He can't help it that his product, his service is just better than yours. Get good.
It's only a monopoly in the sense that nobody has a similar product because they haven't managed to do it as well. Like, there is nothing stopping anyone from releasing a better product, just no one fucking has.
Yeah.
It's different from, like, the argument of, oh, like, Apple have a monopoly because, like, they'll only let things go through their services or whatever.
On the App Store, yeah.
It's like, you can make better arguments for that kind of stuff, but when it's literally just, this is something people have volunteered to download, we don't lock it to certain devices, it's not pre-installed, it's just the better option for gaming on your PC and PC handheld and stuff.
I just love as well that, like, Gabe Newell occasionally responds to emails and stuff. Really? Yeah, and he personally delivers, like, Steam Decks and stuff every now and again.
So
he has, like, an email account that you can email, and on occasion he'll just answer people. So I think there's one dude who's like, oh, I got locked out of my account. It's like, you'll see it occasionally on, like, Reddit and stuff, and it's like, oh, Gabe Newell personally just went and fixed it for me, because he just occasionally just answers his emails.
I guess he's got nothing better to do.
I think it's one of those things, like, celebrities on occasion hear about this, and it's the guy who plays Raj on Big Bang Theory. He's like, well, I don't need to fucking work again. I've got residuals from one of the most popular shows of the last 25 years. Mm-hmm. Just every now and again, I'll just scroll on, like, GoFundMe and just pay people's medical bills. Because he has the ability to do that. It's like, I've got more than enough money to live the rest of my life. When a new, like, residuals check drops, just go on there and, like, help someone.
Yeah. You'd like to think that, maybe some trillionaires out there would do the same, but...
Remember where, like, Elon Musk literally, like, got told by, like, the World, like, Food Bank or something, here is, like, a 10-point plan to fix world hunger? Because he asked if someone can prove that fixing world hunger could be done for the amount of money that I got. I'll pay for it. And they sent it like a 10-point bulletin and then he just ignored it and didn't do it. Like, imagine having the ability to literally end world hunger.
Yeah, like,
not affect you in any way, and you just don't do it.
He has that as a dialogue choice, and he'd probably still be a billionaire.
Yeah.
Like, just...
It's monstrous.
Think about that, people. He literally has the amount of money, not literally, but, like, in terms of, like, assets and stuff, literally has the worth of a person that could feed everyone on the planet and just chose to ignore that email.
Yeah.
But, Karl, do you reckon I could email Gabe Newell and get him on the podcast?
Potentially.
Should I just send, like, the cold shot out there?
I think, like, just every now and again you hear those stories about, like, celebrities or, like, really, really famous people occasionally just turn up for small projects because they were asked. Like, there's a story about the Queen where someone was a piss take just sent an invite to the Queen because they found out, oh, the day we're getting married, the Queen happens to be doing an appearance. Fuck it, just send her an invite. And she turned up. She just turned up. Oh, another one's like, is like Iron Maiden once played someone's wedding because a fan just bumped into the band at a bar and went, oh, I'm getting married next week. Do you want to play my wedding as a joke? And then Iron Maiden rocked up in the tour bus. It's like, yeah, we'll play your wedding for you. So you don't ask, you don't get.
Yeah.
Well, you're asking in a not asshole-ish way. Like, don't go, like, email Gabe Newell, like, give me a free Steam Deck.
I'll let Gabe Newell appear on this podcast if we get free Steam Decks.
It's like another one.
Not that we need to pay him; he needs to pay us for the privilege, Karl.
Yeah, no, another one that I've heard as well is if you just write nice messages to customers, like to customer service people or businesses, a lot of the times they'll just send you free shit.
There's that thing that went round, I think, like around COVID-ish time, of like, hey, if you just send wedding invites to billionaires, you might just get a gift back.
Yeah. Sometimes they just like it goes to their people and they just like send an invite.
They'll just be like, hey, we can't accept the invite, thanks for the invitation. We presume you know this person, here's a gift.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's not probably going to work anymore because a lot of people probably tried it and they got wise to it, but it's probably true at the time before people started spamming the situation.
It's not the most ethical thing to do, but the one about like sending a compliment to a brand or something, because you hear that all the time. So one of the more wholesome stories about it is that lady who's like posted on Reddit of like, yeah, my son for some reason he's just having one of those kid things where he's obsessed with this local lawyer. Just every time his advert comes on TV, my kid loses his shit. So he wrote like a letter to the guy, and he sent through like all of his marketing materials and a standee that was signed. I'll find it.
Okay, yeah. That's so weird. I'm like,
oh yeah, but like really... those interests that kids have,
where they just really into like a random lawyer out there.
Yeah. Oh, if I found it here, here's the photo. It's actually like really wholesome because just the kid is clearly obsessed with the guy just sent him like a signed photo and a standee and paid for a cake.
Oh, because that like very specifically. That being the case of like a random lawyer, they're not exactly getting fan mail through all the time.
Exactly, and it's as well. I can't imagine an easier slam dunk for good PR.
Mm-hmm.
Of just send them some stuff in the mail and you get it for free. It's similar to that other picture of that little kid who's like, my kid's obsessed with like the garbage man. Like he just loves watching the truck.
Oh yeah.
And there's that picture of him going outside. He wanted to stop and take a photo with him, and he can't handle the fact that he's just hanging out with the guys because they're his heroes.
Mm-hmm.
And there's that picture of the two like garbage men like smiling with the kid, and he's completely flipping his shit.
I also think of like there's one where it's like, I'm sure it's happened more than once, but like a post where it's like, hey, my kid loves his little truck toys, and he got like construction people outside the house to like fill up his little like dump truck with just some of the dirt from an actual like dump truck, and it's just they were like nice enough to just we'll just help fill up your little toy, kid.
It's the easiest way for good PR. There's that one that went viral a couple of years ago where a builder just like, my kid was just like really obsessed with the builder because obviously like, he's a kid and power tools are interesting. So the builder just like put a $5 in an envelope and wrote like a bill of invoice. Went, like for my little helper this week. Easiest
cute.
PR that like, they paid a $5 and that's the easiest PR that person's ever going to get. Because that's going to go viral on Facebook in your local community, and you are going to get business for that for months, if not years.
I think of the people that do like a lot of things like that. Like I know there's one around, my local area-ish that kind of like goes around and like fixes up people's houses and stuff. But they do it as like a TikTok thing, and it's like, hey, I go and help people that can't afford this thing, and my TikTok's going viral, just pay for that job. And it's like, it's good. You're like getting good PR, but then you're also getting your money paid for by the fact that you're making it a social media thing.
It's like I say, it's good PR. There's virtually zero downsides.
Yeah, it's like everybody wins. Like the advertisers get to have their advert shown. The person gets to have their job paid, gets views, gets good PR. The person gets the house fixed.
And that feels more wholesome, like the Mr. Beast way of doing it, where it's like, I gave like a paraplegic or something like a missing limb, like a Mr. Beast themed wheelchair or prosthetic limb. It's like, that's some Black Mirror shit of the only way this person can like interact with the world in the way that's designed for everybody else is for a fucking billionaire to pity them and give them a branded limb.
There's also shit like stories where stuff, I think it was like the doctor that did like I've helped like blind kids see again or whatever video, and it's like, we interviewed the doctor after the fact, and it's like, he gave us like 5,000 face masks. Yeah,
like he framed, like, I think the way Mr. Beast framed it is that he paid for the surgery. It's like, no, you donated the equivalent of what the surgery would cost in equipment. It's similar to like a lot of those like well building charities that some YouTubers have done, where a lot of like the villagers in Africa and the people who work on the ground in Africa talk about like, we don't need any more fucking wells. Sometimes these charities will come out and build a well in a town that already has multiple wells, because that's what the charity's funds are earmarked for. We don't need more wells. We need maintenance on the wells that already exist, but that's not sexy. People don't want to pay for maintaining a well. They want to build the well. It's like the thing of like donating clothes or something like that. Helpful, but something that would be more helpful is just donating money so they can build infrastructure.
Yeah.
Sure. Like I say that with like charities of like food charities and stuff. It's like people donate food and it's appreciated, but food weighs a lot. It needs to be stored. Sometimes it's perishable. It'll go off. It'll be stuck there. And a lot of the food people donate, it's not something that people want. If they give us money is very easy to keep. You don't need to store money. It goes in a bank, and we can just buy the food directly from the wholesaler for a fraction of the price that the customer will.
Yeah, like giving money to a food bank is a lot more useful for multiple reasons, as you stated, than giving the food directly. Yeah.
Because the money can be used to buy more food than you can donate. And like the cost of the tin of peas that you donate, if you just gave that money, they'd be able to buy multiple tins of peas. They'd get it at wholesale prices.
Yeah, they can get it at wholesale prices. They can also buy it fresh for when it is needed.
Mm-hmm.
Which, not to slander anyone that donates food. Like, I also donate food in shops sometimes. Like,
yeah, like I see like the box in Sainsbury's when I go in and get like my beans or something. It's like I'll buy an extra tin and chuck it on my way out.
Exactly, right? And like that's kind of like an easier way to do it, because when you're outside of that system, people aren't necessarily going to think about it all the time, but like it's easy to just buy an extra item on your shop and put it in a bin on your way back. Like
there's also those interviews with like the people who work those charities, and when they get asked like what should we donate, and so well, the staples are always handy, but there's some things that people don't donate or they don't get a chance, like fruit, like particularly tinned fruit, sweets. They're like not something that gets people always donate the staples, which are appreciated and needed, but people are having a hard time to the point where they need to go to a food bank. They don't often get to treat themselves, like they're literally living on the breadline in this case. Just something like that can go a long way. So like people donating like cookies.
Yeah, that's the thing is like obviously. I think my camera's shut off.
Oh, it's doing it. Yeah, it's doing the biz. I think the other one is like for like homeless shelters and stuff. Like they always say, one of the best things to donate, because it's people don't often think to do it, is sanitary products.
Yeah. So
Karl, they're not a thing people donate often.
While I am just a black screen of death,
I think
that's a good time to take a break and swap my batteries out.
Yeah, no problem. We'll do that. So we'll return with my wiki.
So Karl, I've returned with a different camera because my proper camera is not playing along anymore, and
you got the Zoom Lucas. That's the celebrity interview during COVID camera right there.
Yeah, this is the little webcam Lucas going on. So my colours are a little bit off and all that good jazz, but I'm still here. We can still podcast.
We can, like as long as the microphone works. That's the important thing, right? But for housekeeping, anything that you've got to share with the lovely folks at home before we move on to my wiki?
I guess like by the time that this goes out, there should still be a little time to go to our Patreon and vote for our votes for the month.
Yes, so we like to do our fan votes, and the ones that I put, it's Pride Month.
It is Pride Month.
I've made some Pride-related contents. I've put the vote up. You can choose from one of 4 topics, and the one with the most votes will be the thing that I make the video on. So I put sent them to you today. A piece of media that is accidentally gay, a piece of media that is intentionally gay, a character that is accidentally written to be gay, or a character that is intentionally written to be gay. And I hope someone picks like the accidental one, because they're the funniest examples of like characters that weren't intended to be gay but get read as gay by fans, or pieces of media that perhaps weren't interpreted or intended to have a gay audience but nonetheless found one.
Just like we talked about in the Batman and Robin video, where George Clooney decided to be gay halfway through filming, which I'm not quite sure what that means, George, but sure.
Yeah. Well, that's like the votes that I've got for next for this month's patron pick.
Yes, and I will also. I haven't specifically picked which ones, but I will be picking Pride-related things as well, just to celebrate Pride Month. So there still should be like another day to go over to our Patreon, join at any tier, and vote on those polls. They will be already live by the time that you see this, and it's also a shame because like I'm gonna have to record the rest of this with a webcam, and I've probably mentioned it in the intro. Karl's got a fly attacking him.
I have, like, Joe, it pisses me off so much that you've got all of outside. All of outside, I leave a crack in my window because I'm, like, doing my washing. So I'm like, all my stuff to get a breeze on it.
And the rain.
The raisin fucking comes in.
But yeah, I did like rainbow hair for Pride. And you can kind of...
Oh, you've done it, nice.
But, like, the colours are now going to be, like, not quite right because it's on the webcam and the colours are off. So, like... That's a bit annoying.
Maybe post a photo in like the Discord or something. You can go check it out.
Full rainbow hair. So yeah, I'll post like a picture or a GIF or something of it on the Discord for people to properly see. But yeah, like I was a bit late to the party because it's a bit annoying to have to do. It's a bit time consuming, so I kept putting it off. But I was like, I did some Pride hair.
Not to mention as well, that's like a great way to start a conversation at work, isn't it?
I get
no one else
is
putting that level of effort.
Yeah, getting lots of comments and compliments from it, so that's always nice. But yeah, I'll say I'll probably mention that in the intro as well as my tattoo. But yeah, just go mention it again. I'm like, yeah, I got a charge bug tattoo.
Yeah, he's done it. He's become 1% charger bug. It's like that time when I weighed myself and I weighed 99 kilos, and before I went to the gym, to start trimming down for summer, I went, you know what, I'm going out for pints and I want to drink 2 pints, so I'm 1% pint. And I did it.
Yeah, if you know you can drink like a kilo of alcohol, that means you're 1% alcohol.
I was 1%. So there was a brief moment where I was 1% pint.
Hell yeah. Oh, but yeah, I don't think there's any other housekeeping at the moment to go through.
Not for me particularly, but I will mention that I'm going to start streaming again at some point. I've moved around all my computer setup. You can't tell with the recording, but like the stuff that's below the camera where like, my computer lives, I've moved everything around to set up my streaming setup again. And
yeah,
I've just thought...
I mean, I was hoping to like start doing the same like when I move again, but like that'll be, you know, I'm probably going to end up moving again like in a month or so. Fingers crossed. But like I was, you know, gonna suggest just like we try and figure out just a Wiki Weekend streaming plan.
We were going to try and figure something out like that, weren't we? But we'll make an announcement about that close to the time when we figure out the logistics.
That's something we have like not even discussed. So
no,
yeah,
the same way where we're going to be setting up the live stream thing properly, but we kind of got sidetracked by just issues on the back end that aren't really all that interesting to talk about. But that is something that we're hoping to pursue and should have up and running in the next week or so.
Yeah, so the like 24-hour live stream of just old Wiki Weekends content for you to just tune into at any point.
Yeah. So you'll be able to support this channel when you're literally asleep. You can just put that video on if you happen to, like myself and Lucas, just use white noise or background music or just the gentle hum of conversation to lure you into sleep. There'll be a place to do that, and you'll literally earn us money while we're asleep. While you're asleep. How fucking sick is that?
But yeah, Karl, I guess we can move on to your wiki then.
Well, yeah, as mentioned, like we mentioned the Nemesis systems. Like, you know what? Let's talk about Middle Earth, Shadow of Mordor.
Okay.
Because that's where the Nemesis system is. I'm curious about the Nemesis system, and one of the games I was tempted to play on stream, because I've like dug out my old Xbox, is I've got Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor on there. It's like, I could play those games. Those games are actually kind of fun.
Yeah, it's very much like kind of, we took Assassin's Creed and like Batman Arkham, like
which
those
it
kind
mentions
of
in the
styles.
intro, yeah, heavily inspired by the Arkham games.
Like, we took them and we put them in a Lord of the Rings setting, which is sick. And yeah, like the most like kind of cool thing that came out of it, the most unique thing that has to stay unique because of fucking laws, is the Nemesis system.
The Nemesis system. It's like the Nemesis system makes that game, it goes from being like, okay, 7, 8 out of 10, depending on how much you like Lord of the Rings and that specific gameplay loop of like just go climb the tower and go to the boss and fight the enemies, to like a 9, because that Nemesis system just allows for just organic storytelling, unique and novel to your playthrough and playstyle. And we'll get to talking about it in a bit.
Literally, like, I think one of my most favourite things in video games is just like those, like, you know, the water cooler moments.
The moments that like created for you, essentially, right?
That, like, I can tell people, like, oh, I played this linear game and I did the same things as you, isn't that cool? But when you have moments where it's like, oh god, like, I was, you know, just at death's door when I defeated this boss, and then all of a sudden, like, Gragnok the Burned came
like, up. Like, hero fucking orc comes in.
And is like, know what? I'm here to finish you off, yeah.
It's like we mentioned earlier of, like, Football Manager, man. The stories that you create yourself using the sandbox. Like, one of the funniest videos, like, related to gaming, is that guy who's like, yeah, I stormed a castle, but I made literally every orc in there betray the guy in charge. And it took him like a couple hours of setup to do. But it's just like, you have like stacking cutscenes of just literally every orc just betray this guy all at once. Or was like another video of a guy's like, oh, I got a guy, I made him all the way up to like level 100 and then shamed him to get him back down to level 1. And after a certain point, the orc just stops talking and just starts going, And he's like, because he's just completely mentally broken, because this like Talion just hunted him down over the course of like several in-game days, beat him the fuck up and just shamed him. But, you know, if anyone unfamiliar with the Middle of Earth, Shadow of Mordor, Middle Earth, Shadow of Mordor is a 2014 action-adventure game developed by Monolith Productions, published by Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment. It's an original story based on the Legendarium created by J.R.R. Tolkien. I do like the idea that if you want to get the full Lord of the Rings experience, you have to, like, halfway through the books, just slot in Shadow of Mordor right in there.
I think that's my favourite thing about, like, old legacy Star Wars material, right? Is that to actually understand the story is like, you need to watch half of this movie, then escape out to like 3 books, then play like 2 bad video games on the N64.
It's always one of the most frustrating things, yeah. Whenever we talk about Star Wars, like we always mention that Darth Maul is not a character as established in the specific movie in which he appears. Every time we'll go watch the 8 seasons of a Clone Wars that he's in. No. I shouldn't have to watch 8 seasons of a TV show released a decade after that film came out for a film to be good.
Also, Star Wars Clone Wars is better.
I just like the idea that they just created their own OC and just like, if it's canon, like the Tolkien estate, they signed off on it.
It's one of those things like, you know, with like a Star Wars one, like I'm very glad that people are out there making more Star Wars content and having fun with the world. And, like, Sam Witwer getting paid, I'm all down for that.
You know what? Anything that gets Sam Witwer paid, I'm all down for. I'm not going to watch the show because it sounds like it fucking sucks.
I think it sounds fine. But I don't, at the moment, want to invest 8 seasons worth, as you say, of time into that.
I think as well with Darth Maul, it's because he survived the events of the movie he's in, gets his legs cut off, and then the ending of his character is that just Obi-Wan kills him again. It feels so fucking pointless to have all that character development for him to literally have the exact same ending anyway.
Yeah, and I don't know too much about that. I'm to be fair, we're going to talk at some point. I'm prepping you, Karl. I'm going to talk about Maul, Shadow Lord, or whatever it's called at some point, because I want to watch that. Because guess what? That gets me more Darth Maul without having to like cherry pick episodes of the Clone Wars across seasons and seasons.
So I've heard like the actual like moment-to-moment stuff's good, and obviously Sam Witwer loves the series and the character, so he's put in a good performance. The thing I've seen out of context is the Darth Vader appearance, because like Darth Vader's got to appear. Of course Darth Vader's in it, and everyone is like, oh, it's really scary because Darth Vader doesn't talk, and all I think in my head is it's because James Earl Jones is dead, and that AI stuff you get him to do it isn't quite there yet.
Why do you keep putting Vader
if any,
everything?
It diminishes the character of Darth Maul. Like even in his own fucking show, you've got to put Vader in. Mm-hmm. The same way, like what was it, the Boba Fett show? Where halfway through, it's like we've got to do season 3.5 of the Mandalorian.
Yeah,
it makes the character feel lesser. Like this is the show.
The last 2 episodes of the Boba Fett TV show are about the Mandalorian. So you just didn't care about Boba Fett as a character then?
Mm-hmm. And do you know what they do care about though? Fucking Talion.
Yeah.
Talion, and that's it. The Tolkien estate signed off on it, but you play as an elf lord you play as Talion, a Gondorian ranger who bonds with the wraith of the elf lord, Celebrimbor. And he is, he's in Rings of Power. That's like a character from the Legendarium.
Oh, okay.
Like he's one of the dudes who forged the Rings of Power.
So it's their OC, but then supplanted by an actual Lord of the Rings character.
Yeah. It's like, well, we know Gondor has rangers, so he's a new ranger that we made up. But he has the spirit of Celebrimbor in there. And I will say, the game, it's a little weird that it exists, considering that, like, at the moment I'm reading through Lord of the Rings.
Oh, right.
Because I thought, well, you know what, I've not read Lord of the Rings, and I've watched the film a bunch of times, let's read it. And it's a very comfy book.
So, are you reading just the Lord of the Rings?
At the moment, it's Lord of the Rings, yeah, and I don't want to read. But what would be really funny is if when I get to the end of, like, Lord of the Rings, like when I've got to read like the Silmarillion, the legendary tales, the unpublished letters that like his son dug out of his study.
Yeah, because there's like obviously The Hobbit is an easy read. It's
a children's story.
But then like you add on like all the extraneous like the Silmarillion and all that jazz. Is like,
do you know what?
That's a lot to read and digest.
Something that interested me, because I'd never considered this, is how many books is Lord of the Rings?
I would assume 3.
Everyone is. If you get the 3 books, it's the Fellowship of the Ring, the 2 Towers, Return of the King. It's 1 book.
I was going to say, technically is it one book in 3 parts?
Yeah. It's just so fucking long, it gets split into 3 parts. And technically, I think it's 6 parts.
Right.
But yeah, it's 1 long book. It's like, man, Tolkien he loves those elves. And I think
he loved words, Karl. He loved words.
He invented language. And like one of the funniest things I've heard, I think it's when mentioned the 2 best friends play earlier, or we mentioned in the previous recording session that we did. Something they do, they've joked about. They need to stream this game directly to Tolkien's Skeleton. Just so we know. I want live Skeleton reaction to it. But in this game, you play as mentioned, Talion, and he dies, and just an elf lord just jumps into his body like, fuck you, you're a ghost now. And the game introduces the Nemesis system, which allows artificial intelligence of non-playable characters to remember their prior interaction with the player and react accordingly in subsequent encounters. Something that was improved upon in the following game.
Yeah, quite actually massively improved upon.
It's really fun. Like I say, it makes the game from like this generic hack and slash Arkham Light to this game is fucking incredible.
I've only played
so fun.
I've only played about 5 to 10 hours of Shadow of War. Both games get a bit repetitive.
They do, and Shadow of War is the more fun game because there's just more stuff you can do.
Yeah, but the Nemesis system, as far as I could see in War, was a lot more in depth than it was in Mordor.
You can just do a lot more stuff with it, and one of the funniest things you can do in that game is send your orc to fight in the online fighting pits. And of course, at the point I played it, I think I played it last year over Christmas or something. Of course, the young people still playing that game of level 90 invincible orcs who are invincible to everything. And just every day, when I logged in to play it, it's your orc died.
So
he just cut his ass once.
That system does still work though.
I think they populated it with fake ones as well. It's clearly this is not a real one, but we want people to still use the system.
Because I'm surprised that isn't one of those things of a month after the game release they took the servers down for that stuff.
It's an interesting idea though, because I think you get
really
attached to your orcs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you really do. They become like a little squad of yours.
Yeah, and some of them, like I said, you can carry you through the entire game, still level up with you. But the game began development in 2011 in order to create an accurate environment and be consistent with the Tolkien books. Developers consulted Tolkien scholars from Warner Bros. As well as Peter Jackson. And I don't like the idea of consulting Peter Jackson about Tolkien rather than the fucking people who study his works. I know he made the movies, and the movies are popular. The movies took some creative license with the universe. That's one of the things that Tolkien scholars talk about. The movies are great, but there are many liberties taken with the movies to translate them to the screen.
Yeah, for example, it's an adaptation. It's a translation. It's not a matter of fact remake, word for word, shot for shot kind of thing.
And I hate how the Lord of the Rings films have become the standard for Lord of the Rings. So for example, the character of Aragorn in the original books, I think I did a read through when I was much younger. And I'm rereading them because I'm older and I can appreciate them, is Aragorn is 8 feet tall.
Oh.
And he can't grow a beard. He doesn't grow a beard specifically because he's half elf or something.
I mean,
but what do you think when you think Aragorn? You think Viggo Mortensen. It's a good performance, but that's not what Aragorn would look like.
It's not. However, I can't imagine an Aragorn without a beard.
You can't, can you? But...
No.
It's always strange. I think it was that Shadow of not Shadow of War, the Rings of Power series came out, and people were using footage from those movies of look, it's not consistent with the world of Lord of the Rings. Well, that's the movie, not the books.
I think
those movies have just as many liberties taken with them. It's just that you remember them more fondly because you grew up with them.
I think it happens a lot though because obviously it's a lot easier to reference things that you've physically seen in film or TV than it is, say, for example, your imagination based off words. It happens a lot with different things that become very popular in adaptations. I hate to mention, but Harry Potter or a Game of Thrones, there are character descriptions in the books that are nothing like what is depicted in media, but
because it's a lot easier to picture something when you've literally got a physical reference to look at right there.
Yeah.
But it is very frustrating to see that of people using the movies as an example of what or like holding it up as like an example of like what the lore or the canon is. It's like, no, there's liberties taken there.
Yeah,
there's a lot of effort put into keeping them accurate to the books, but there were some changes made just for the sake of brevity for the story. Like, I just got through the Tom Bombadil chapter in Fellowship. I'm fucking glad they cut this, because it's a stupid addition. I don't know why Tolkien was so obsessed with Tom Bombadil.
The Tom Bombadil scenes in Lord of the Rings are great.
They were cut, right?
They're not existent for anyone that's not aware of the.
I'm pretty sure they were planning to film something and they cut them.
And then there's like, it's not Tom Bombadil in The Hobbit, is it? But there's like a different
Ratatoskr or something, right? The guy who's got shit on his face in every scene. It's the only thing I remember about his character. He's literally got shit on his face.
Yeah, and hasn't cleaned it off. And it's like, he's this like all powerful being that just fucks off and isn't wanting to do with anything other than nature.
Like, the thing I forgot is that with Tom Bombadil is that he meets them, comes out of nowhere, saves the day, and says, "Oh, here's a password that you can use if you need my help." Literally 1 day later, they all get captured by a Barrow Wight. Call for Tom Bombadil, instantly solves the problem, escorts them to the edge of where he lives, and goes, "Would you help us?" "No, I've got to go now." And I get it. Tolkien created a universe that's very beloved, and there's a lot of like there were literal Tolkien scholars. It's so fucking stupid that Tom Bombadil doesn't help. It's not like the Eagles, where people mention that the Eagles be corrupted by the ring. Tom Bombadil literally puts the ring on, and it doesn't corrupt him.
Right. Yeah, that's it. I don't know anything. I've not read the books. I'm very admitting that the fact that all I know is like the movies and the extended versions.
They're good movies.
They're very good movies. So they take
liberties. Like, Tom Bombadil should absolutely 100% fucking help.
And that's the thing. There are actual like reasons why the Eagles can't, but
yeah, they'd be corrupted by the ring the same way that like the reason Gandalf doesn't do it is because he's so powerful. If he was corrupted by it, it'd be very dangerous.
And it's also like, you know, that it would be very obvious to literally see eagles fly to Mordor, like Sauron would see it second one, stuff like that.
They're sentient beings, they'd be corrupted as well.
Oh, yeah, but like, even if they weren't, like, it's like, I know one...
Yeah, the Nazgûls would take them straight out.
The Nazgûls will take them out, like, Gandalf only has, like, one favour available from them, so he uses that one when he desperately needs it.
And the thing is, though, it's very stupid. I've always hated this as a trope of the literal end of the world is at stake. Help.
It's similar to like stuff like you know, we talk about MCU a lot, and it's like when Captain Marvel turns up and is like, yeah, well, there was other shit going on in the galaxy, you do know that, and it's like,
yeah,
okay, but Thanos, you weren't helping with Thanos.
Yeah, it's like
throughout this entire time he was plotting to kill everyone.
Like, obviously, I'm not going to criticise one of the most beloved like works of literature to exist, but it is one of those frustrating things to like read through it. Like you've introduced an all-powerful godlike being who just says, "I can't help. I'm going now."
Like,
it's very frustrating as a reader to know that there's just in the background there's a dude who could have fixed the problem and didn't.
There is
very frustrating to know that as a reader, and I'm presuming there is an explanation why he won't help. But all I'm thinking is, fucking help.
There is like multiple times in Lord of the Rings where it's kind of like, oh, you know, a literal Deus Ex Machina comes in and then just goes, and it's like, okay, where's the explanation for why that?
Do you know what it's in? It's in the fucking Legendarium or the Forgotten Tales or whatever, right?
It probably is, right? It probably is, yeah.
But in addition to receiving help from Peter Jackson and advice from Tolkien scholars, they also received assistance from Weta Workshop, who advised on the special effects. And I almost like if you try to create like a consistent universe, if you want to create a universe like, and I think that's the Lord of the Rings movies, they're kind of a victim of their own success, where every time they try and create something in that universe now, they kind of have to base it on that universe, or like the look of those universes, which is so strange that it's such a wide open world and there's so much material there. Why do you like? But I imagine they feel hamstrung by the fact, well, those movies were really popular, and that is the idea of the characters, the world, in people's minds. And so they can't interpret them any other way, even though I argue they should, because that'd be interesting. Like, have you ever seen like the Ralph Bakshi Lord of the Rings stuff?
Not that I'm aware of.
That's like the animated one where they like animate.
Oh, I've seen clips of that stuff. Yeah.
Well, that's the one where, for example, like Sauron has like the ghost head. Because they interpret him in a much different way.
There is not an all-seeing, menacing, giant tower Eye of Sauron in the books, right?
No, that's just how the film replicate. They say the Eye of Sauron could be felt over the Darklands, but he's not actually a literal giant fucking eye. It's just that the force of Sauron say that, like, they have an eye as the symbol of, like, Sauron is always watching, and it's more a commentary on, like, his reach, that he can always see everything. He's not a literal giant flaming eyeball.
But it's a cool visual for a movie. I like that visual. Yeah.
But I imagine if they ever did another Lord of the Rings project with Sauron in it, they probably would feel compelled to make Sauron a giant eyeball rather than interpreting him in a different way. Which I think that's kind of a shame.
It kind of limits
such a rich universe.
It limits people's imagination of a possible other adaptation, right?
Especially with something as big and like as Lord of the Rings. Like, I think to that magic like crossover they did where they reinterpreted like a bunch of the characters and they had like Aragorn as black.
Oh,
and
yeah. And
fans lost their shit. Not fans, arseholes, racists.
Yeah.
Lost their shit about Aragorn's not black. It's like, well, okay, in the books, no. He's also 7 feet tall and doesn't like Viggo Mortensen and speak with that accent.
Like, that's just Viggo Mortensen's depiction is as different from the original as this version is.
As this version, and this is just the way someone chose to interpret that character. It's not the way the character was written, but they're not saying that this is the character as written. This is just an artist's interpretation using like Lord of the Rings as their basis, which I'd argue is very valid. And also, I like that. I love seeing when artists take an idea and just translate it into their own medium, or they put their own spin on it, like fan art and stuff.
Yeah. And like
put their own personality into it, use their own lived experiences and style and stuff. Because that artwork they did for that magic crossover was fucking sick. Like I said, like Black Aragorn's got that shit on.
Yeah, like all of the different like crossovers that Magic done, as much as like it is,
they do quite a lot. Yeah,
it is a very very overdone thing at this point. But hey, me and you got in on those Final Fantasy cards, and like.
I'm still mad that we didn't get the Cherith one. Did you see they put that in?
The Cherith,
yeah. Like one of the cards, it's Aerith with the chair. Like they're coming in with a steel chair. That's fun.
It's fun. And like those were great. And every time I see those Magic cards, I'm tempted to get some. And I was close enough
to appreciate the artwork.
To the IP of Final Fantasy that I actually put money into it. But like, yeah, for the most part, I just kind of go, oh, those are sick. I'm not going to buy them because I don't want to get, dug in deep.
But I do remember that artwork of like just like Black Aragorn. That's cool as fuck.
But
he looks like Will from Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's Gate, yeah.
And then it's like they've got him with like the flame of the West as his sword, and it looks like an absolute badass. It's like, yeah, like okay, he's not white like I imagine most people imagine Aragorn to be, because I think he's never physically described to say he's got keen eyes and he's pale and he's tall. So I guess like you could interpret it, that's probably the most common interpretation is that he is white.
Yeah, but again,
written by a white dude in like the 20s.
As we said, literally the version in the movie is not the same as the one in the book anyway, and that's what people.
But at the same time, his skin color doesn't really matter. It's like as long as he has like obviously it's only artwork, but that artwork looks like a fucking king to me. I said, dude's got that shit on.
It's interesting because like when you're talking about like keep it accurate and consulting experts, the thing that it reminded me of was like Destiny and that community and that lore. And like there are YouTubers out there, there's like Myelin and Bife and things like this, where like
people can like sink like the lore into it, right?
They are like
your teeth into the lore.
10 years worth of lore experts making like deep dive lore videos and stuff like that. It's similar to like what's the one that does Vidya like Vatcha or something like that does the
Vidya Vatcha does the lore Elden
like Dark
Ring and
Souls,
games,
Elden Ring, stuff like that,
which
From Software
runs into its own issues because I hate how people use that guy as like a source for stuff. Like his videos are very good, but he opens every single one by saying this is just my interpretation, and a lot of time he invites you to comment below of like, what do you think of this? Like, do you think I'm reading this way? It's like a lot of those games are open to interpretation. It's more show don't tell, but people will just quote him as if he's right. Even though he says it's just my interpretation.
It's different in like the Destiny ones because like
there's actual stuff written down, right?
Taking lore that is like within writing of the games or the website that they did for the first game and like cataloguing it, but then they actually pulled those people in to help consult on the lore books that were released.
Yes, I remember something similar happened with George R.R. Martin, where he occasionally, when he's writing his books, like I think, like, you know, the 1 page a day he writes or whatever. Don't think he writes that much. The sentence a week, I suppose. But he calls up the people who run the Song of Fire and Ice fan website.
Mm-hmm.
And when he got asked, like, well, it's your universe. How do you not know these details? Like, well, I created the universe, but my fans live in it.
Yeah, like
he doesn't reread his own books. His fans do.
He isn't sitting there reminding himself of everything he's written over and over again. Whereas, like, hey, last time I spoke about this character was like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
What did I do with that character? Like, I can't quite remember. Where did
it's an interesting relationship, isn't it? Of, like, obviously, the creator of the universe is the ultimate authority, but they might not have the omniscience of a creator because, as I said, like, they don't.
Or maybe not.
They don't live in their universe.
It's not even the fact that it's a creator; it's the fact that it's a like field of people, right? Like, you are getting an entire or not an entire fandom, but like a specific subsect of a fandom that are very dedicated to help you basically be reminded of what you have.
Like I said, yeah, they're the people who live in the universe, as opposed to creators. And I guess, like with Tolkien, you get actual Tolkien scholars.
Yeah.
Because there's so much, the universe is so rich and so much written about it, and so much of it is open to interpretation.
And it's also interesting the fact that, yeah, like that's just it's essentially the same thing, but it's translated differently over time. Of like the people writing wikis and making YouTube videos now are the same people that were writing novels on, like, not the same people literally, but the same type of people that were writing novels on the novels that Tolkien produced, but it's just we have different ways to do
different mediums and different ways to express that fandom and that enthusiasm. You know, we continue now with the introduction because we didn't get to that far. It says that the game was influenced by the Arkham series, while Monolith had previously experimented with the Nemesis system in a cancelled Batman game based on Christopher Nolan's films.
Oh,
that would have been fucking cool.
Yeah, because I think it might have been Monolith that maybe were working on a Wonder Woman game that got cancelled, and that's where, like, I think they may be shut down now. I'm not 100%.
Because it is Wonder Woman the most done dirty character in terms of, like, every single one of her video game appearances, she's just shit. Like, in the Injustice game, she's basically a fucking SS officer.
Yeah.
In that Kill the Justice League game, she's the only member of the Justice League who actually dies, and no one cares.
Oh, she's the only one that aren't clones or whatever.
Yeah. Wonder Woman wasn't that game fucking sucks. They were all clones and all the Justice League die, except for Wonder Woman, who got beaten by clone Superman, and they never bring her back.
Like, it's so funny that when it was announced of Kill the Justice League, everyone went, they're not going to actually kill the Justice League then, are they? They're going to bring them back, or they're going to be clones. And that's exactly what they did. Because they're always fucking cowards.
People called it like 2 years in advance.
Yeah.
Because they'd never had the balls to do it. And I still can't believe that game, you kill the Flash by just shooting him with guns until he dies.
Even though it's established early on that, like, you can't touch him with guns.
There's a scene where, like, you look through a sniper scope at the Flash, and then the next second he's behind you with Lex Luthor's heart in his hands. And then you just shoot until he dies. You know, so gameplay, we don't need to talk about gameplay, but the Nemesis system. So a core feature of Shadow of Mordor, which it mentions, was inspired by pen and paper games like D&D and stuff, where people create their own stories as the game progresses.
Yeah, that's
so the Nemesis system, where you can track any Uruk. And I like as well, on Wikipedia, this doesn't feel like the correct description. An Uruk is a nastier orc. That feels like a very, like, non-academic way of writing that.
Oh, they're just nasty. Then Ganasty Ganork, right?
Yeah, it's a nastier orc. And the thing is, like, the Uruks and the Urukai might be the single most threatening antagonistic force in a movie. Because I always single out that one Urukai in, like, the second movie that has a kill 5 seconds after being born. Like, it comes out of, like, the weird jelly womb, swinging a fucking sword and gets a kill. It's been alive for less than a second and it's already got a kill.
It's like, what's more dangerous, that or a xenomorph?
Oh, to be fair, like, xenomorphs, like, they are literally born via kill, so they're pretty dangerous too. But they're the main antagonists of the game. The player comes in contact with them while they're at generic Uruk. Is it Uruk?
I I always say Urukai, so Uruk, I guess.
I'm just going to say Uruk, or Uruk, for the players to fight. So that's one of the things about like Lord of the Rings. I like just the way that Tolkien writes. And they do capture some elements of that with this game. So I love that they call Talion the Grave Walker. That's such a cool term for him. Like, he's the Grave Walker because he died, but he walks as a spirit.
That's one thing that's always cool about, especially fantasy does it a lot, but just anything that is willing to give every single person their own title unique to themselves. Of like, you know, obviously it became a bit of a joke, but like Daenerys in Game of Thrones, right? Are like the
breaker of chains,
the mother of dragons, stuff like that.
Conqueror of the Grass Sea.
Yeah, it's like that stuff's so cool. Imagine just announcing yourself. I'm like, I am Lucas, the mother of dragons, the breaker of chains.
I like that idea in fantasy though, where that's something that has to be given to you. You can't. It's like a nickname, right? You can't pick your own nickname. It has to be given to you.
Yeah.
Like in this game, obviously becomes the Grave Walker. It's like, well, we fucking killed this ranger, and he was come back as a ghost.
Yeah,
and just stabbed us all.
It's not obviously exclusive to fantasy. I think one of my favourite examples is just the fact that when you're playing Halo, the Covenant just run away, going like, "The demon is here! The demon!" It's like, yeah, they don't know Master Chief as like John Halo, or Master Chief. They just go, "The demon is here."
The demon, or the Reclaimer.
Like
you earn that fucking mantle. That's the thing, like the idea that you earn it and it's given to you by either your enemies or your friends or like those who you rule over. Yeah, like a wise and noble character who dies. And I think as well, it's the only games where you can stealth kill your wife. Like the opening mission to teach you stealth is where you use the stealth mechanic to sneak up on your wife and kiss her. But there's people who've had the bug where it's not the kiss button, it plays the kill animation instead, so you accidentally stealth kill your wife.
Like the opposite of Kratos. He just openly kills his wife.
Now, I still think one of the stupidest things they put into a video game that I kind of respect is that the single hardest button prompt to mash in all of God of War is when you leave his daughter in Elysium. It's the hardest button prompt in the game. You have to mash 3 buttons at once. It's the only prompt in the game where you got to mash all 3. It's normally 2.
Speaking of,
and that's to reflect how much effort it takes Kratos to do. But the balls to have the leave your daughter fucking button prompt. What's the most unhinged one?
No, not unhinged. I was going to say I think the most difficult one I've ever encountered is I can't remember whether it's Twin Snakes or the original Metal Gear Solid like torture scene where you've got
we've got a mash to
resist the like electrocution or whatever, right?
Yeah. Fun fact, if you just open up your menu, you take 0 damage. You don't have to mash.
I like nearly broke my fingers.
A lot of people did.
Like doing it on like the extreme difficulty, I can't remember the
European
name.
Extreme, yeah. It's almost impossible.
It's so hard. Like me and my friend went through like multiple attempts of doing it where we were like trying to get things around the house to try and help us button mash.
Yeah,
because it was just that horrible. It was destroying us.
The hardest one I've had is Heavy Rain. The character in that where like he has like flipping out on drugs, and you have to. I think the system in that game, you press different buttons, but it makes you press them in such an awkward, unintuitive order.
Yeah,
by the end of it, you're clawing on the thing.
Yeah, and there's also just the Heavy Rain option. You can't resist.
Jason, extra Jason.
You can't Jason.
One of the greatest videos ever uploaded to YouTube is that once in a lifetime bug that no one has ever replicated.
Oh, the glitch where it just kept saying it.
Yes, there's a point in the game you can just put in X to Jason online, you'll find it. But there's a glitch towards the end of that game. You find like your dead son or your drowned son, and you have a button to mash Sean to find like to scream his name out while you're looking for him. And some hero on YouTube who got a once in a lifetime bug that no one's ever been able to replicate, where just that prompt never went away. And for the entirety of like the final climactic scene of the game, it's just him screaming the word Sean over and over again.
Like, literally the last final cutscene with the reveal and everything. And he still had the chance to mid-conversation with Sean!
The absolute best part, it's perfect comedic timing. And it's where the character of Ethan is no longer on screen, but the guy's still mashing, and you can hear his model shouting it from off screen as he gets closer. It's like, if you want to watch a funny YouTube video, just put, it's John Marston gets attacked by Cougar. And it's someone who, like, midway in their, like, Red Dead playthrough, a cougar attacks John Marston through the cutscene, and it just attacks him throughout the cutscene. The cougar has perfect comedic timing. Where the guy, like, you just have John, like, he's building his house, and the cougar fucking comes in from off screen and mauls his ass.
Oh, God.
With regards to the Nemesis system, Uruk for the player fight en masse, or Uruk. Okay, you fight them en masse as cannon fodder as part of Sauron's armies. The game begins tracking any Uruk that performs a notable talent within the game, such as surviving an encounter with the player or killing the player character. These Uruk will be promoted to captains. Defeating these leaders will help weaken Sauron's army, and they will drop a rune which can be used or installed on Talion's weapons to provide additional buffs in battle. And I said this system was very much improved upon in the second game, but I had so much fun just like, okay, this one has to die.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's this one? He's scared of fire? Well, I guess I'm burning his fucking house down.
But then I love the fact that what they'll do is take interactions that you've had with them and put them into the storytelling, like, to go forward.
Yes, so it mentions here that's mentioned afterwards, but it does say that your deaths will be tracked, and one of the systems they have is if someone on your friend list dies, you get the option in your game to go avenge them. Which
that's really good.
From like a story and narrative sense, that's terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
That the Grave Walker, I killed him, I beat him, and then you get attacked by a different one from another dimension.
I think it was like a really missed opportunity because there's a game, Returnal, that was like PS5 exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
May have come to PC, I'm not sure, but like it was like PS5 launch game time, and when it came out, it was meant to be that it's a roguelike game. You keep doing runs, you keep dying, you keep progressing, learning more, getting better. And you can find other versions of the main character. I think her name was like Selena or something. Mm-hmm. And you'd find other friends on your friends list, dead bodies where they've died similar locations on your run.
Yeah, I love that. Like, just not too on the nose, just something subtle. Like, I think remember we were like at that couple of months we played Night Rain,
mm-hmm.
and you can occasionally find like other players who just didn't make it.
Yeah,
and you can get their equipment.
The issue was though, at release, that function didn't work.
Oh no!
So they had months worth of that game being out, them talking about this really cool function in the game, like finding people on your friends list that haven't made it, and like maybe like picking up a piece of their equipment or something. And it just wasn't working when the game came out. And all the reviews and stuff, like, I don't know if I ever found anyone else. I don't know if it's just because, like, not many people are playing right now or whatever, but it's just kind of not working. And then it came out, it's like, no, it just doesn't work.
Something happened, it's Devil May Cry 5, where they clearly had a much broader plan for that game, where they said, on occasion, you'll find other players.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll see them, and you can help them, or they can help you. And there is like one mission in the game where you have like all 3 playable characters on screen at once, and they are controlled by other players, and that's it. And the rest of the time, you'll like occasionally just see like through a doorway, but you can't interact with that player, and you can't. There's no way to communicate or talk to them. And it's at a certain point, remove that.
Yeah.
If don't overpromise. Like, it's not even overpromise. It's just you see it and go, this would be so much cooler if they actually put the effort in. I'm annoyed that it's in the game in this half-baked state, because I can see a good idea here, and I'm pissed off that it's not expanded upon more.
If it was something that appears like once every mission or something, you can justify it, but
it's like one mission. It's like at this point you could cut it from the game and nothing would materially be impacted. But mentioning the guys from Nemesis system, they will comment on things that have happened, like being on fire, which is fun.
Yeah, I was just going to mention as well, like, you recently replayed like RE6, right? Or parts of it or something. Like, they had that function where you'd every now and then go into like chunks of a mission where it'd be 4 players, and it'd be like 2 people playing co-op and 2 people playing co-op. Like
Leon's randomly there in a mission.
Yeah, but then like you play it anytime after like the first few months, and I just sat there in like a matchmaking window for like 5 minutes on a loading screen, and then AI popped in.
Yeah, the worst part is that, like, to get the extra costumes for Mercenaries mode, you unlock them in the bad competitive multiplayer element. That's obviously dead.
And
the Mercenaries costumes, though, are, like, linked to gameplay, so they get different loadouts.
I still don't have any of the multiplayer achievements for Resident Evil 5 on the 360. I got the multiplayer mode, like, a few months after when I had a bit more money. It was dead, and I've never been able to get those achievements. I've got every other achievement in the game, but I can't get 100%. Unless people want to volunteer to go on the 360 servers that probably don't exist anymore.
It sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it's nice as put in as an idea, but they're not future-proofing it really either. But in regards to the gameplay of Shadow of Mordor, so Shadow of Mordor was Monolith's first third-person open-world game, and it was considered as an educational experience for the studio. In Monolith's introduction to the genre, many core mechanics were built from scratch, and the studio were inspired by successful video games such as the Batman Arkham series.
Witcher? That makes sense, especially when they were going to be trying
work
to make
on a Batman game
themselves, yeah.
And they just mentioned here, like, someone from the company in a statement that's been quoted by Wikipedia, they just saw Rocksteady's games as an example of how to handle a licensed title. Presumably, because this was made before Kill the Justice League came out.
That's it. I don't know whether Rocksteady is maybe another good example of a first game success in Arkham Asylum. I can't remember whether they made another game before then, but
either way, they did good, and then they literally killed their own franchise with Kill the Justice League.
It was not a good sign when all the bad vibes were already around the game, but the two main creative people at Rocksteady left a few weeks before the game came out. It's like, oh, that's probably a sign that things are not going to go well.
It's also, as well, really darkly funny how much they pitched, this is Kevin Conroy's last performance as Batman. To try and sell it. In that game, Batman gets fucking murked by the shitty Justice League. It's like the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
They murk Batman's ass, and then they walk back. No, we record other stuff.
Yeah,
this is not his final. Because they realise, we can sell this as his final project, and that'll be
then there was another
marketing hook.
Animated
I hate
that.
That's what they did, right?
Oh,
you know they saw his death as a marketing hook.
And then it was there was another animated movie afterwards that was oh no, actually,
that's his actual real last performance.
Released also recorded lines for this, so now that we're releasing it after the Suicide Squad, this is real last performance this time.
Yeah, and I hate that someone somewhere in the company saw his actual in real life death as a marketing opportunity.
People are not excited for Suicide Squad, we can sell it off the back of this. Yeah.
There's just something so distasteful about marketing in such an inauthentic way. I think to Shelby Oaks, it's just a pretty generic horror movie made by the YouTuber Chris Stuckman. And it's really funny because there's that Markiplier one come out that I've not watched yet, but it's been on my list of Iron Lung, which is doing really well, and everyone's like, yeah, you know what? I don't know much about it because I try not to see stuff about movies that I'm interested in, but getting decent reviews and saying Markiplier does a decent job of doing it. That Chris Stuckman dude, all his ads for it are just, people work really hard, so you should watch this. And that's not an argument that makes me want to watch the product. It's I don't care. No. Make a good thing. Why are you trying to guilt me by saying suggesting with that language that if I don't go watch this, the people who worked in it didn't get paid? Why are you wording it like they get a share of the profits when I know that they don't?
Also, yeah, I saw at least one post. I don't know if more people have spoken on about it since, but people talking about the production of it's Obsession, right?
Obsession, yeah.
And one person was like, hey, I was the art director on this movie that is now massively successful on a skin-tight budget. Yes. And it's we all volunteered our time. A lot of us didn't get paid. A lot of us got paid.
They did die, yeah. I saw this story. They got paid $7,000, and they're salty that they only get paid more.
And it is
that sucks. But it was a very small budget project.
It was.
You were paid appropriately for the work you put in.
But
also, what a fucking own goal of just cratering your career as it just starts, right? Who's going to hire that person?
True. But at the same time, I understand the argument of we all
I can see being salty
over
about
backwards.
It, yeah.
This is making millions upon millions upon millions in profit, and we're probably not even going to get any bonus or anything for this movie.
And that's an argument for profit sharing schemes with more production staff, but they were paid for the work that they did, and they were fairly compensated relative to the budget. And
yes, but not relative to the success.
Not relative to the success, but it's a creative industry, it's a very feast or famine. But I just see that and go,
which isn't correct. Like it very much is. Like there should be profit sharing. There should, as like a principle, I believe. Like if a company gets to, see all those profits, I believe that the creatives involved should also get a chunk of those profits. But like, yeah, I understand that they got paid, and they shouldn't be like, as you say,
it's one of those situations. It sucks for everyone, yeah.
It's just like, man, I don't think that marketing a movie on the idea of like, everyone worked really hard, so you should go watch this. Yeah, but the people who worked really hard are not going to see any of those profits, though, are they?
Exactly. That's the thing with the Chris Stuckman thing, where like if you go watch the trailers for it, it's really insidious, the language that he uses, where it suggests that, if it's successful, these people will see some remuneration for that. It's like, they're not, are they? They got paid whatever the industry rate was to work on this movie. And in regards to that Obsession example, that's one of the things where you just got to chalk it all to experience, and then you don't, for example, go on social media and start shit talking the production company, because you have got a golden opportunity being handed to you there. Joey talks like people just have a chance to achieve success. Like you now can say that I did this production design for the biggest movie of the year. Market that. Said chalk it all to experience, and just don't ever sign a deal like that again, and use the clout and stuff you've got from this project to argue for better conditions next time.
Unfortunately, that is probably the best way to go about things in terms of long-term success of your
just
career.
Chalk it up to experience.
But it sucks
Every
that
creative
it can just
can
be
say
that, like, hey, we paid you for scale, we paid you for exposure, we paid you for experience, or like we didn't
every
even pay you.
creator's done it.
And
I've worked for experience, and I've worked for exposure.
It's always one of those things. I would always argue that things should be better for those people.
They should.
But sometimes you get a shit sandwich, and it's like, you don't want to go out there and potentially ruin your career by telling everyone about said shit sandwich. Maybe you do. Maybe you never want to work in that career
depends,
again.
Right? It's a very feast or famine industry, and just one of the easiest ways to like create any sort of like success you could potentially have is to make it known that you're difficult to work with.
Obviously, it's why a lot of people, we're talking about games, a lot of people that reach out to journalists and stuff do it anonymously, right? Is like there'll be a lot of people that break news as reporters who say like, I have people that have corroborated
sources familiar with the matter
that from those companies, but they have chosen to keep themselves anonymous because they want to talk about this stuff through somebody else because it will impact their career if they do it by
reputation is everything. But speaking of reputation, the game's signature system is the game's signature feature is the Nemesis system. Its origins came from management in WB Games in the early 2010s. Seeing that past single-player games like Batman Arkham Asylum had great initial first sales, but which failed to capture revenue from second-hand sales. I fucking hate the way business people word things. Mm-hmm. It's like, what they're essentially saying there is that they're salty that people aren't buying the game twice. They bought the game once, and they played it, and then they were done, but people didn't pay money to play it again. No, because they played it once, you made a good product, they liked it, and they're waiting for the next thing.
Do you know what happened recently, Karl?
Yeah.
This year, or the previous fiscal year, I should say, according to Capcom, Devil May Cry 5 sold the most it's ever sold in a year.
Did it go on sale, right?
Well, it went on sale. It also got marketed via the anime and stuff, right?
And then it got the special edition re-release.
Got a re-release on Switch as well, like stuff like that. And it's like, hey, it's almost like if you make a good product and offer it to people in an easy and affordable way, that people will go out and still buy it.
Yeah, but Lucas, speaking of like fucking business people sucking balls, WB Games tried other experiments across its studios, such as games with downloadable content that could be only activated once.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when the game companies tried that?
Do you remember the EA online passes that came as codes to play your games online?
Yep. They got rid of that.
For Monolith, if you got them secondhand. I was going to say, if you got them secondhand, like you couldn't activate the code. You had to pay like a tenner to play them online.
Yeah, remember when like GameSpot as well were taking those codes out?
Hey, that doesn't surprise me. Yeah.
So for Monolith, their goal was to make a gameplay element that would lead players to keep the game disc in their library rather than seek second-hand sales. So it's not they want the first half of that sentence. We want players to like this game enough to keep it rather than sell it, and we want them to keep it in the chance that they'll replay it. The same with people like keep a book that they like. But when it's like no, we want them to keep it so that other people they want people to buy it new and not second hand. So we need to figure out a way to put a system in that they can't access unless they pay us money.
And there's a whole debacle about that with Shadow War. I can't remember the details now, but there was like really bad monetization stuff and like
it's ridiculous. You could
with Shadow War.
Yeah, there was so much like stuff in that. It's all WB games. It's why ironically their pursuit of this is why they're one of the companies where I just on principle always buy their stuff either second hand or on sale when they release complete edition.
Oh, Karl.
Like every Mortal Kombat game.
You can't do that, Karl. That's not fair. Do you remember
it's theft, isn't it?
You bought Mortal Kombat XL or whatever, right? And
it's one of my most frustrating gaming moments.
The back of the cover, it says includes all content, and then when you booted it up, it prompted you for like the mobile skins.
So it was Mortal Kombat XL, and the selling point, literally on, as you said, on the cover is includes all costumes and downloadable content. Literally the first thing that popped up before gameplay, anything. I've not seen Scorpion yet. Is sign into the mobile game to get an exclusive Cassie Cage skin. Like, fuck off! I bought the most complete edition of this product to exist, the one that you sell and specifically market as having everything in it, and it's still not enough. They still want more out of me.
They did the same
fuck off
exact thing NetherRealm with Injustice, and it was like,
yep.
Hey, if you go get Injustice Ultimate Edition or whatever, I bought that. Put the disc in and it pops up. Like, if you download the mobile game, you can get to level 99 and unlock the Superman prison skin or something.
Yep. It's like, obviously, a skin's not that important, but when you're buying something called the complete edition, I expect everything in that game.
When it is written in text, bold and plain on your box, this includes everything. I don't want the first prompt to be, hey, you're missing a skin.
Yeah. And that's what they were trying to do with this game. They wanted to include a system that made it so you could only enjoy the full extent of it if you bought the game from them.
Do you remember,
or bought the game full price. But that eventually mutated into the Nemesis system, which was a system which allows non-playable characters to respond to player actions, creating personal stories for each player, making otherwise nameless orcs memorable and unique. And that would make players not want to part with the game. So the Nemesis system existed to make people keep the game so that they could add those shitty monetization options in. Well, this is my reading of it, and you know what? That makes me not like the system now. You know what? I'm glad it's not in more games. To know that this was its origins, I didn't realize its origins were, we'll make the game really good. That way we can keep that really aggressive monetization in, and they won't sell the game, so we've got another advertising vector.
I'm still mad that other companies can't use it, because maybe
it's so wild that it's like they own it and don't want to put it in anything else.
Maybe not every company, you would hope, would use it so facetiously, right? But yeah, it doesn't make me happy about the system.
The fact that it literally existed, so it's like people won't sell the game, so now we can keep putting like buy Italian power orb for 40 cents.
Did you remember though, Karl? I got reminded of another WB practice. The Arkham Knight, I think it was, where if you pre-order it from like GameStop, you got an exclusive skin.
Yeah, different costumes for every.
But every single shop had a different skin available. So and you had to pre-order the game like 8 times to get every skin that was available.
It's fucking stupid. I hate it. I hate it so much. WB games can suck my balls and fuck off the edge of my dick.
Just WB in general. Yeah,
it really does say that the system was pared down as it was too complex in early development because it incorporated personal relationships among the orcs themselves. So they could have had like those interactions they have with the player amongst themselves that would have been too complicated to program.
That would be
all the orcs dialogue was written by Dan Abnett. He said he's a writer for 2000 AD. It's like Judge Dredd and stuff.
Okay, I was thinking it was like a different movie then. I was thinking it's one of those like You know, like fucking those movies that are like I can't remember which one it was that was like Kit Harington in it. It was like 6000 BC or something. And I'm like, no.
Pompeii.
Was that Pompeii? I can't remember.
I think it was Adam Driver, right?
Was it Adam Driver? Yeah. There's so many of those bad where it's just like year name something, and I'm like, okay, yeah.
Let's go fight dinosaurs. How do you reckon a movie where it's like you shooting dinosaurs with guns boring? It's ridiculous. But it mentions that the studio, I did not expect this as an inspiration, by sports games where the narrative will continue even when a player loses a match. And they like the idea of the narrative of the story continuing even if the player dies. So you don't reset to an earlier instance. If Talion dies, the game will continue, the story will continue, and players and other players and other characters will react to the fact that Talion fucking just got murked.
Yeah.
That one orc got him.
I didn't actually think about that, because like that's actually not that common in games. Normally you just go back to checkpoint.
Yeah, you just go back to a checkpoint and like,
whereas
essentially your character never dies.
This is probably
same as like
one game that like in game actually references the fact that like an orc will come up to you and chat shit and be like, "Oh, you think you can take me this time? I just killed you. What
there are some times though where I died on purpose to aura farm. Like, Joe, like just I'd walk into there and let them kill me to level them up, and then come back in and want their ass when they were leveled up. So I'm letting you kill me to level up, so I get more rewards for killing you.
Because
it's like in like Grand Theft Auto, of like I need a shortcut across the map, just drive straight into a fucking petrol station and blow up because it's quicker.
There's like the kind of like Zelda canon, for example, where one of the timelines is like, this is the canon timeline of like when Link dies in Ocarina. There's a third subsect of a timeline. I don't particularly like that. That's clear retconning, and it doesn't overly make sense with all the games and stuff. Like, it was a bad attempt to make a Zelda timeline make sense, but actually referencing it in the game is kind of something that most games never do.
No, because like if the player dies, that's a game over. And I never thought of that like comparison of a sports game where you can be playing like FIFA and you're in career mode, creating your own story. It's not a story like Lord of the Rings, but it is a story that you're making for yourself. Yeah. The story of your playthrough. You can just absolutely spoon it 10 times on the bounce and just lose 15-0 and you're allowed to keep playing.
You're still part of the league. You just have no points, right? Yeah.
Like, what's like the worst as well you've done in a game? Because I do like those like challenges people occasionally do of like, what is the absolute worst instance I can get for this game? I've seen a couple for like Baldur's Gate, which is a game where you can make a bad decision and roll with it. Of just, what is the absolute worst playthrough I can possibly do? Like, how bad can I actually fuck up like my playthrough and still get to the end?
I did finish New Vegas by killing everyone. Like, every faction was dead.
You're all assholes.
Like, every faction I ended up meeting is like, okay, I'm gonna kill you too.
There is something to be said about that, right? When you just meet someone like, you know what, I don't like this person.
Like, I fucking rock up to Caesar on the dam, and I'm like, no, actually, no.
I've got it now. I think the most interesting way you can like, there's probably worse things you can do in a game. Like, you can soft lock yourself, you can completely just like upend the narrative and kill main characters. But I think possibly the worst way you can absolutely fuck up a playthrough is, have you ever watched any of those silent playthroughs of Walking Dead? Where people, do you know what they say in Walking Dead, Telltale games, like silence is an option. No one ever really picks silence. But I remember an interview with one of the people who worked on like that first Walking Dead game, and they asked like, so is there any interesting playthroughs that you've watched? And one guy's like, I was really weirded out by someone who just played silently.
Made zero decisions as Lee.
Yeah, they only spoke when you absolutely had to, and their playthrough was just entirely silent. And they still like, yeah, it was really weird, but that player did that. And it's like, they never talked, and every time someone talks to them, just let the silence linger.
Yeah, they just let the narrative wash over Lee as a character, like he was just there.
Completely silent in every cutscene that he's in. And it's like, that was a really weird playthrough to watch. Because obviously, we intended for silence to be a valid option. We didn't expect them to pick it every single time.
No, yeah. I've fucked up some runs trying to like break Zelda games because I play them so much. I play Ocarina of Time all the time and try to like do dungeons in reverse. That's one time where I think I've soft locked myself out of like going back in time because I did the door time skip, and I'm not going to get into it, but like, yeah, I try and find ways to like break those games because I know so many of the glitches and stuff. But in terms of like intended mechanics, it's hard to think. Like I did do a run of Until Dawn, and a few people died along the way and stuff. And that's part of
the fail
Dawn,
through,
right? I didn't do a fail through. We were playing the game for the first time, and a couple of people died. We kept most people alive, and then we missed one prompt at the very end, and the room just like blows up or something, and we all died.
Oh yeah, it explodes, doesn't it?
And we just all died, and it's like, oh.
I actually respect that as a decision. It is like the D&D equivalent of like rocks fell and killed everyone. Of like, no, you tripped and brought your net, everyone died.
We tried to keep as many people alive as possible. Like I think we lost like 1 or 2 people, but everyone just died at the end, and we were like,
you spooned it at the last second.
That doesn't feel good.
There's those couple. I think it's like the like Fallout 4. Is that the one where you just, if you don't do anything, Pagan Min just takes you to scatter your mum's ashes and lets you go?
Yeah, so if you wait... No, not Fallout. It's a Far Cry, right?
Far Cry, sorry. Far Cry.
Far Cry 4, the guy who's... Pagan Min or whatever.
Pagan Min. And oddly enough, played by Troy Baker, who voices Talion.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. He's everywhere.
He does a good job. Like, he's a really talented voice actor. It's just a shame that he always gets told to do the Joel voice.
Like, when
I had no idea that he was Talion.
When he did Indiana Jones, it's like, a lot of the time, it's
that sounds
like Harrison Ford.
The other ones I've got to credit, voice of Celebrimbor, our boy, Alistair Duncan.
Oh,
Senator Armstrong himself.
And Mamiya.
And you can really hear it as well. Because you can hear Senator Armstrong every now and again when it's like, obey me! And he's like, that's Senator Armstrong. I can hear it.
I was hoping you were going to say Mamiya because I've been playing for God of War again.
It's Mamiya as well, yeah. People don't know Alistair Duncan, he's Mamiya in God of War. And I like how he's the only one from like the games to be in the show. When you have a live action show, they're bringing Alistair Duncan back to play Mamiya.
Is he actually coming back? Right, okay.
Yeah. His voice is too iconic.
Yeah, true. But, I love the fact that, like, in Far Cry 4, Pagan Min goes, just give me a few minutes, like, you're in, like, his meeting room or whatever.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll be back. And if you wait, like, 10 minutes and don't move at all, he'll just come back and be like, oh, yeah, I've dealt with the problem. And the game ends.
The game ends. And the thing is, though, I'm of the opinion that is the best ending of that game.
Yeah.
Because that's one of those games where if you play through it, and everyone's an arsehole. And it's one of those games where I wish there was the third option of fuck all y'all. Like, you like just do the Lance Reddit, like, fuck all y'all. Like, you're all arseholes, I'm just going to go.
Yeah.
Like, or like do the Mass Effect give up ending. Like, you know what? I don't want to deal with this anymore. That's a bad one. A big give up. Such a harsh way to end the game.
You know, speaking of Karl, I'm gonna say big give up on this podcast because it's a warm day and I'm getting sweaty.
It is. I do need to go get some food as well. But big give ups is the funniest thing we ever came up with.
Like
just Mass Effect. You know what? Give up.
I can't believe we spent over 100 hours streaming those games.
Over a year streaming all 3 games, and what was our final decision was to give up.
We just gave up and died.
The idea of doing that though is so funny to me. It's like in something I really like Larian do, and I think for Baldur's Gate and other companies have kind of taken inspiration from it, is we're just going to look at all the statistics from the game and just highlight some really interesting playthroughs that we've noticed. And there was one person who played as Lae'zel, carried her story out to the end, and as the last decision just went, no. So basically played her entire story as her, but then got to the very last point where it's like, do you want to go through the portal? This is what you have to complete her quest line. I went, no. So they played through the entire game, experienced that story, and at the end just went, I'm good.
That is that shepherd, right? We played through 3 games and all of the DLC. Over like multiple years worth, because we were just doing it on Mondays.
Yeah.
And we just gave up. We just said, actually, the Reapers can have it. It's like, Shepherd, what are you... And it just one static
the idea
image
of going through all of that to just decide, you know what, I'll give up.
Actually, everyone died.
It's so anticlimactic that I kind of love it. Like I said, that playthrough of Until Dawn, where you get through all that game, everyone's like, you've tried your best, and just, you made one mistake, you tripped over and the house blew up and everyone died.
It's like, it's memorable. I'll give
them
the
that. balls to do it.
Yeah.
Like, the balls to have, like, that ending. It's like I said, the D&D thing of rocks fell, killed everyone.
I prefer that as an option to the option of, like, we were talking about Suicide Squad. And, like, we knew, second one, the Justice League aren't going to actually be dead.
Oh, yeah, it's not the real Justice League. They haven't got the balls to do it.
Or whatever. And that's exactly what they did. And it's just like, no, I've got to respect, I don't love it, but I've got to respect the balls to just be like, fuck it, you lost, you died.
You lost, everyone lost. It's similar to, like you said, Baldur's Gate. I like that the relationships in that game are portrayed somewhat realistically, and you have so many people go on, like, Reddit and forums and asking, like, on Discord and stuff like, oh, well, I fucked up my relationship with Shadowheart. How do I convince her to date me again? It's like, well, you can't. You fucked up.
Yeah, I remember you saying that, like, there's people talking about, like, oh, Karl, like, wants you to stay faithful. She has, like, issues with trust, and I cheated on her, and now I can't get her back. What's the problem? It's like, well, you cheated on her when she explicitly asked you not to. And
people get, like, confused about the idea that they can't gamify a relationship because you can in every other game, or, like, they'll make a choice. Like, oh, my party disagreed with this choice. Like, how do I go back and undo that? So you can't.
It's one thing.
Like, oh, what's the good choice in this scenario? It's like, well, whatever choice you want to make. If you think that's the correct choice in that moment, that is the correct choice. There isn't a perfect answer to this.
There's a fuck up I made on a playthrough we were doing of Baldur's Gate that, like, we need to get back to at some point. And, like, I just said, like, oh, this lady's hot. Yeah, I'll tell her that I'll go to the camp and kill everyone. And it's like, why did you do that? It's like, oh, because I'll just be able to, like, I'll be able to talk my way out of it later, though. It's like, no, you can't.
It's like, no, you locked us into, like, oh, you just cut off, like, half of the Act 1 gameplay with that decision.
Oh, but
evil playthrough. I know there's no correct way. Evil playthrough is the second run.
Yeah, and I wasn't aware of that, but I was just like, oh, but games normally let me just, like, walk up to that character 2 minutes later and undo that decision.
I think, though, when I told you, like, you made the decision, you folded so fast. It's like Minthara. And you went, oh, is she romanceable? I went, yeah, and she's the only character that goes down on you if you date her. And Lucas didn't even see another option. He folded so fast. It was over for the Grove. As soon as I told him that information, he clicked that option instantly.
I didn't even think about it. And I was like, oh, but it'll be fine. Hesitation. I can romance her and then undo this deed, right? And it's like, no, you can't. We're fucked. So yeah, that's one of my other big gaming mistakes that I still think about. Like, well, Karl told me she was romanceable. I'm going to romance. It's like, do you want to murder everyone here? Yes.
Right, she's an absolute menace, is Minthara. Like, it's the only character in fiction I've ever heard say wizard like a slur.
But
ridiculous. But yeah, cheers for watching, everyone.
Yeah, it's just one of those moments where I was like, but it's a game, I can undo it.
He folded so fast.
Oh yeah, perfect. Now then, computer.
Show me a list of everybody who supports the Wiki Weekends Patreon above a certain tier.
Oh, $5,000 for a computer and it can't handle a simple assignment.
So thank you for watching what I hope was a video you found informative, educational, or interesting. I'm Karl, this is Lucas, we're from the past.
I mean, yeah, but what do you mean hope, Karl? Because come on.
True.
Have some faith.
Yeah, if you're watching to this point in the video, either you like the video that you just watched and want to support us, or you're asleep. In which case, you're doing great. Don't worry, there's no one in the corner of your room.
But there is a bee right next to you.
Don't do that. One of the scariest things that's ever happened to me is I was doing the classic, like, I'm asleep at night, laptop on my chest, just being a fat fucking bed. Spider ran across my keyboard, illuminated by the light. Scariest thing that's ever happened to me.
Well, no, the scariest part was when you couldn't find the spider afterwards.
I couldn't. It's gone. But let's not talk about that now, Lucas. Instead, let's talk about all the people who support us over on our Patreon, our big PPs, because we need to give them a shout out.
Yeah, we need to shout out, of course, the people on our highest tier on our Patreon, and the first person that we've got to shout out is a long-time supporter, Rama Sawatome.
And that is from an anime, as we discovered the last couple of times we talked about it. So, Lucas, what's your favourite anime moment you've experienced recently?
I don't want to talk My Hero spoilers that I was just rewatching, and I don't want to get into any other spoilers for things, but I was watching this little cute reindeer get introduced and just having my heart ripped out and crying just for several episodes straight.
Well, that's what you should be doing, Lucas. You should be like singing, so it's like, watch One Piece. Tell Karl to talk about One Piece. Just so our audience doesn't know, so they just like inexplicably like keep commenting. Like Manchurian candidates of like, I don't know why, but I feel compelled to tell Karl to watch One Piece.
Talking!
Second supporter we've got a shout out, that's Little Ghost. But it's not just Little Ghost, it is ghost emoji, ghost emoji, ghost emoji, ghost emoji, ghost emoji, ghost emoji, Little Ghost, ghost emoji, ghost emoji, ghost emoji, ghost emoji, ghost emoji, ghost emoji, which is 13 ghosts, including the ghost in Little Ghost. And I'm just going to put it out there, one too many ghosts. It's an unlucky number.
Well, it is, but the whole joke is 13 Ghosts the movie, right? That's like got like Matthew
Lillard's magnum opus. Yeah. Dude doesn't have a magnum opus. Everything is in, he gives his whole ass to it.
God! I hate it when they do that! What? They wait for you to stick your face right up against the glass, and then they give you a big fat boot.
I'm just going to say it. I think Matthew Lillard is the Nick Cage of our generation.
Ooh.
In the sense that man puts his whole ass into every performance, regardless of the overall quality of the project he's appearing in. Like, that man did not have to go that hard for 13 Ghosts.
Yeah, and apparently they were even good in, like, Five Nights at Freddy's.
I always come back.
And the next person that we have to shout out is maybe not even a person, Karl. Because going for his first blow, B strikes. Whiff. His first strike misses its target, along with his second and even his third.
And that is all one name, and all I can picture is, that's like when, like, this is B of Awesome, they've been a long time supporter, and they keep just, like, fucking with us with their name, which we wholeheartedly support. That's like when you're driving in your car, and a fucking bee comes in, right? And you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa! Nothing scarier. There's nothing scarier when you're driving a car and a bee comes in.
There's a bee in the car!
But moving swiftly on, the next person to shout out is another long-time supporter. I'm starting to notice a trend. Rosalindis Memphis. Thank you very much for your support. I don't know how much you appreciate me continually trying to find different covers of Walking in Memphis by Mark Cohen, but I'm going to continue with that trend until I'm told otherwise. Because one day I expect to have just no support from that person. It's like they finally got sick of it.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? It's like all we can assume at this point is that they're okay with it.
Do I really feel the way I feel?
They either like it or are completely indifferent to it. Either way, I want to keep doing it until told otherwise. But thank you very much for your support. It's very much appreciated. It always does give me that warm, fuzzy feeling inside to see the same name each time we do these. We must be doing a good job, right? If like people are giving us ongoing long-term support.
One would hope so.
I think at this point, with some of the people who support us on Patreon, I've been in longer relationships with those and some of my exes. So well done.
But speaking of a gag that seemingly this person's not getting tired of, we've got to shout out to the Nikui Horchata, who keeps making us speak in a language neither of us can speak and has not stopped supporting us just yet. So
maybe it's that they don't know how. Maybe like on Patreon in English, they don't know how to unsubscribe.
But yeah, it's this time it is Tinekui Horchata. I didn't even practice saying this beforehand. Axnita Leone, Nikpia Miak, Tekito, Nimomachia, Kaweo, Sampampa, Zimboteki Pachao, Nonekas Neopatok.
Fucking flawless, mate. First time. Let's go.
Perfect.
The best bit as well,
sure.
I bet if you pop that into Duolingo, it would be perfect. Duolingo's run by AI now.
Just the owl of shame is like, no, actually, it was fine. Better than we can do it.
So it doesn't know the difference. And I do appreciate Tinichi Horchata's support because every month I learn something new. And that new thing I learn is how embarrassed I can be.
Yeah, it's very true.
We always think there's like a limit to how embarrassed you can be. And then we go do one of these shouts. It's like, oh, you can go further beyond.
I did try, and you put me on shame cam, so I appreciate that you're not shame camming me anymore, because that made me just stop for a while.
You know what? Maybe the shame cam will return.
No.
But I feel like I've kind of had it easy this month, because the next person to shout out is Lirio.
Yeah, I've gotten all the long ones this time. Oh, okay. I just went Pokemon because I was thinking of Litleo.
Litleo, the lion cub Pokemon.
And you are correct, Lucas. Lirio does sound sort of like a Pokemon name, but a cute Pokemon. Do you like Litleo, little cat?
Yeah.
So what do you think is the cutest sounding Pokemon name?
Okay, so maybe not the cutest, but off the top of my head, my mind went to Piplup.
Do you want to tell that story of the time we got fucking annihilated on Bridge of Eldin by a Piplup?
Yeah, so...
Core memory for me and
people
Lucas.
People don't know, in Super Smash Bros, like, you can use a Pokeball item, and one of the Pokemon in there is Piplup. And Piplup just has, like, a simple gimmick of just rides on a little wave, and the wave can, like, basically, like, grab you in and run you off the edge. However, someone used it on us on Bridge of Eldin, which is a completely flat stage with a walk-off.
Really, really long.
So all that happened was they threw Piplup out, which managed to catch all of the rest of the people playing.
But it was right at the left-hand side of the screen. So you got dragged for like 8 seconds.
Along the edge, just screaming, "No, Piplup!"
And it's a core memory for me, because we were getting really drunk in your house, and all I remember is just Luke's at the top of the screen, "Piplup, no!" It's got carried to our death. Also reminds me of like another core memory of mine, which is when we got, again, really drunk playing Smash Bros. And put it into German. And just started picking all the characters. Like, what's the cutest Pokemon name? I'll tell you what's the opposite of cute. Is German Jigglypuff of like, Pummeluff!
Pummeluff!
Pummeluff sounds like it'd womp your fucking ass. Like, Pummeluff! I'm not messing with that bastard.
But speaking of someone to mess with, we've got another bee, Karl. Bees are back.
2 bees fighting, that'd be terrifying.
But these bees are fighting, because the next one is, how did you think it was going to be that easy? Bee of Evil gloats, hitting Bee so hard on the side of his face, something moves.
And I do wonder if this person, or team of people, or cloud of sentient bees supports us for long enough, will we eventually have an entire story told at the end of our videos that people get for? Do you like MCU post-credit sequences that you can like add together to create like, you know, a mini story?
Eventually we're going to be able to add in all of the different... it's going to be like the bee cut, right?
Yeah.
Just going to have the bee cut, and we can put these all together.
Lucas B-rolls right there, come on. Oh, fuck. Wiki Weekends B-roll! Oh. Yes! So thank you to Bee of Evil, Bee of Awesome, all of our long-term supporters, and the new supporters we've had this month. If you'd also like to support us, you can do so over on our Patreon, found link below. But otherwise, you've watched the video to this point, it means you've watched the entire thing.
Hell yeah.
That still helps.
Well done, you.
This is when I like leave it blank for like 10 seconds and just put a bit at the end, put a B. B.